Hey, wait, his thing is on. Okay, hi. I don't know who you are. Stoic Crates. What's up? You're like the first person to be in here. I've got no response from you, but alright, cool. I'm just sitting here playing guitar, waiting for people.
How's that?
Oh, I can hear you now.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wait, how do I stop that?
Huh?
The echo. I keep getting echo.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to mute my mic. So what's up?
You kind of know me, but not directly.
Your name looks familiar.
Well, I'm actually using a backup account because my other account got a strike, and I didn't want to screw it up, and it takes like months. I am actually in direct contact with Mike. It's Marko. We were supposed to go marry together.
I'm really confused.
Ask him. Yeah. He'll know.
Wait, wait, what were you guys supposed to do together?
We were supposed to get together because I'm in the Poconos, and you guys were supposed to come up, and we were supposed to go meet Gary.
Why didn't we do that? I remember that.
Because you guys ended up going to Florida, and we couldn't get it together in time. So, but now I found out that you guys are back.
Yeah, we should try doing that again.
Give her a shot. So I see that you guys are now hosting your own antinatalist chat, which is cool. Very good.
Well, yeah, like fly hours at work right now anyway, so there's no like chat going on. But I figured I'd get involved with the community. So, well, most of it's yelling, but yeah, I'm still trying.
No, it's so no, it's okay. It's just, you know what? To tell you the truth, I don't know what other people feel about it, but personally, I feel like yeah, antinatalism is kind of owned by women.
What do you mean?
Well, the truth of the matter is, biologically speaking, you women own this. You have more pull in the argument, right? I mean, you are technically the bearers, right, if you will, for lack of a better term, of kids. And if women, if women can wake up other women to the fact that that biological need to have kids is nothing more than the DNA telling them what it is, then yeah, you have more power than I could ever have. So it's good to see other women. It
Well,
needs.
yeah, yeah, it's not just the DNA, it's just their stupid fucking egos.
Well, you know what I mean. I'm not trying to get too. I'm not trying to get overly philosophic, but I'm just saying in general. You know, I could say this to a woman all day long, and she'll think I'm a dickhead guy, and you're just selfish, and you don't want to have babies, and you don't want to take care of me, blah 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 blah. But coming from a female, they might say, well, huh? They might pause for a second, even though they might say you're batshit crazy, but they might pause and question and say, well, all right, well, here's a young girl. She's trying to say something to me. I mean, do I listen? Do I think about it? It's gonna cross her mind, I guess, right?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. They would listen to a girl more than a guy because the guy is gonna sound like he just doesn't want to have kids. I invited a bunch of people, but like nobody ever shows up when I like do it because nobody really gives a shit when I do it. So I don't know if anybody will come, but like I know it like always starts arguments like inviting like Vic and people with his point of view, but like I would like to try to invite some of them and actually talk and without me yelling, because I'm the one always yelling. That's true, but like I don't know how to invite them to get some kind of conversation going.
I'll be honest with you, Dia. I'm not the Google thing. I don't know. I'm just, I just figure I'd pop in. I really do like your boyfriend. I think he's a good young man, and so it's just good that you're throwing your hat in the ring. And I he'll tell you I sent him a message because he was getting beat up pretty hard by Inmendham, and he was trying to do his first hangout, and you know he allowed, I guess, Vic Mackey, which Vic Mackey's Vic Mackey, but he was I guess he let him go too long, and you know delegating how his room went, he got kind of beat up. I felt bad for him, poor kid.
Yeah, I was really upset that night because like he puts a lot into antinatalism and he kind of got like shit on. But I mean, I got mad at him too for not kicking Vic out. But I think he was just like I don't even think he knew how to like kick him out of the room. I don't think he could even find the button. But I felt bad. He was pretty upset after.
Cut him some slack. I mean, it's not his nature. He's not like that. Come on, we both know that. That's just not how he is. He wants to give everybody the fair shake, and he's hoping in the better of people that they're going to open up, dialogue, and we're going to have a good discussion. So that's why I felt bad for him, and I messaged him. I was like, look, you did the best job you could under the circumstances. I was like, your girlfriend's yelling at you, fucking Gary's yelling at you. You know what? You did the best you could. Because I'm sure.
I was mostly upset because like he got like he did this like private hangout with Vic, and like I don't know, like the way he was like talking to Vic was like it sounded like as if they were like as if he was like agreeing with Vic mostly out of pure like optimism. He wasn't like agreeing with him for like I got really upset because it didn't seem like he was agreeing with him over like anything, but he was just like, oh yeah, like Mike isn't as pessimistic as like he seems. He's actually like really optimistic. So like, not really, but he's more than I am, and so I think they were like kind of getting to some kind of like thing where they were like basically like this isn't. I don't know how to explain it, but they were like in this like private chat and like they were just like hitting it off, I guess, because with their fucking optimism shit. So I got pretty upset about it. But he doesn't agree with what Vic says. He definitely doesn't agree with him, but he doesn't think like everything's shit. So I guess that's what he was trying to say. I don't know. It sounded weird to me, the conversation, but I don't know. Yeah. Sometimes I just ramble. So sorry.
No, it's okay. I left the antinatalist community. I want to say about 8 months ago, and I took a break. Obviously, like everybody else, they have disagreements on, uh, on how to go about it. But I don't know. I don't think anybody has a. I don't think anybody has like a really a right answer on how to go about it. So that's why I'm not as judgmental as I once was before. In some ways, in other ways, there's just some shit I totally disapprove of. But on a personal level, to Mike, uh, I know what I know what he's feeling because I was already down his road, and it's not a good position to find yourself in because there's this how do you practically apply this philosophical stance that you have and still yet try and somewhat exist and coexist with other people even if you disagree on certain positions. I don't know. you know
I have no idea. That's why I don't have a lot of friends. I just don't really talk to people. I don't understand them. They're just mostly like irrational and they don't make any sense.
None of us do. I mean, come on, Jesus Christ. The very nature of this topic and the fact that we indulge in these conversations, we don't have no real lives, in this real world. Okay, believe I'm there with you. There's absolutely nobody in our real lives day to day that we can talk to about any of this shit because I'm sure you already understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I get what you're talking about. Yeah, and also it's kind of hard to really get anywhere in life when when you have like this philosophical point of view because, well, one, it kind of like brings you down, but also like you can't really do a lot without causing harm, so it kind of stunts you from being able to like get anywhere. I mean, we're not really getting anywhere, but like, just to be able to like live.
You know what it is. You know what it is, D. And again, it's to each their own. I'm just saying, somewhere you have to find a balance. Because, all right, look, we're here, and you kind of have to live. And yes, I mean, of course, we can't exist without uh, directly or indirectly forcing ourselves. But at the same token, we can do what we're doing. I think what we're doing is important. I think the best we can stop is stopping the future harm, right? Because we're here, right? If you stop the future harm, that's the I don't know. I guess that's the direction that we should go, right? As Gary said a million times, the best I can do is be a janitor, the best janitor I can, right? I'm cleaning up, but at the end, I want to shut the valve off. I don't want to just continue clean up. But if I can convince somebody not to have kids and to persuade somebody, logically speaking, to not procreate, then we've made something out of this, existence that we have. Because we can't go backwards. You know what I mean? In that kind of sense. If I don't worry, I ramble too. So.
Yeah, well, yeah. I just mean like, all right, say for instance someone wants to do like music. Well, you've got to do like all this like marketing shit and just kind of like shove it in people's faces and like impose on like other people like your shit and like, I mean it's not easy to like make it with music. So I mean you've obviously got to do a bunch of shit and at least me like, and I think Mike, he doesn't like to have to do that kind of stuff just to make it somewhere when, I mean, you're not really getting anywhere anyway. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like
It does. It does. I get what you're saying. And hey, Gary. Good.
Yeah, well, I don't see being antinatalist being really an issue. I mean, the issue is just life itself is stupid. So it's not even like, I mean, when I was 7 years old, I was having a problem living. And when I was 15, I was having a problem living. And when I was 25, I mean, I go through my whole life and just say, yeah, I was having a problem with the game because the game is intrinsically bad. So it's not just that it's about the subject of, well, there's no way to fix it but to get rid of it. But I mean, it's just, it's the game that wears me down. I mean, the fact that I feel like shit today, today I just felt like shit for no good reason, just because that happens to me now and then, and I just feel like shit, and so I'm just like, okay, I feel like shit today, and that just, that's what drags me down. So I mean, having to be an anti-natalist isn't that bothersome. I mean, I guess it depends on what you get out of life anyway. I never liked people anyway, right? I mean, even if I wasn't an anti-natalist, what would I hang out with them for? I mean, I don't like sports, and I don't have any use for people. I mean, beyond playing with girls, what else is, people suck. They don't have any.
yeah, well, I'm not saying like the antinatalism thing is what brings me down necessarily. I've always been like never, I don't know, I've always pretty much been the same. But yeah, it's not the antinatalism, it's just like how do you go about doing things with this point of view anyway? Like how do you not fuck up more?
Yeah, right. It's like You know, I mean,
Well, I guess I'm agreeing with you in the sense that it's not so much the conclusion that's the problem, it's the premising facts that get you to the conclusion that are the problem. So it's the idea of life anyway is the problem. You know, whether you draw the final conclusion that anti-nihilism is the only way to get out of it or not, you're still stuck being alive with the problem, whether you understand that you should stop it or not. So I mean, it doesn't. I mean, you're on a shitty bus.
The comment is low, but the
I don't
comment
want
is hey,
try to undo shitty
it's
bussery.
not good. Yeah.
Hey, someone's mic is on and in the background, like I can like hear shit.
It's John? No. Yeah, okay, maybe.
I just muted him because I don't think he knew his mic was on.
The first step. So I draw
Hey, Lucid. Wait, sorry.
you, D, so I drew a picture of you. My last video, the one I just uploaded, is a picture. I drew a quick one. Do a better one.
Wait, you just uploaded a video?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has a link. Do a couple of
Oh, are you gonna be on Trick's hangout?
Are gonna be what?
Are you gonna be on Trick's hangout?
I don't know.
Trick Talks or whatever. It's like 10 a.m.
I don't know. He doesn't say anything about when it was or who he's talking to, so I don't know anything about it.
He's talking to Vic, and I think they're doing like one-on-ones or something, and it's like 10 a.m. tomorrow or something.
Yeah, well, good luck to him. I mean, Vic is a waste of time. All these nihilists are a waste of time, in my opinion. I mean, they're conscious organisms, and they won't concede that their own consciousness has any significance. So I'm just saying, but you can't get any bigger a loser than somebody who doesn't mind being tortured. You know, it's okay. Go torture me.
Well, I don't know if they're saying that. Like I know like nihilists, like they think that fucking nothing matters, but I don't know if they're saying that. I think they're just saying like they're admitting there's a
protest. They're saying that they might emotionally protest, but it's just a silly emotion. They're saying there's nothing real behind it. There's no fact that it's a bad thing. So if you want to torture them, it's okay because there's no fact saying it's a bad thing. So that's the, you know, they're pretty explicit.
Well, their argument's harmful anyway, so I just don't like the argument because it gives people opportunity to harm other people, and that's, I mean, the total opposite of what we want.
Yeah, well, I mean, to me, it just the fact that you don't know what harm is the problem. But yeah, okay. So, but anyway, I have to leave at 10, so just let you know.
Wait, why? That's like in like 8 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's the way life works. I have obligations. I could be back about, I don't know, after 11 sometime probably. Be free again. But, you know, whatever. We probably don't have that much to say. We agree on everything. Almost. Pretty much.
Hey, Inmendham, I'm curious how you learned about Guy McPherson.
I didn't learn anything about him. My old fan found him.
Oh, okay.
He has a website and such, so she does the research. I do the, you know, talk to thing.
Yeah. I followed him for a long time.
Yeah, he's a nice guy, but, you know, obviously I don't think he goes far enough. Not nearly.
Yeah.
And we're just dumb animals. I mean, it's just silly for anybody to think we're anything else. We're just dumb animals doing dumb, fucky, chasey bullshit. You know, we're just chasing our fucking greener pasture. You know, there's always a greener pasture over the other green pasture. We just keep chasing it. You know, so just horrible chase. I get $10, I want $20. I get $20, I want $30. It just never ends. That's the program. It's a bad program. That is curious. I never thought there was such a thing as a nihilist in the real world. It's like, you know, when I was a kid, I thought like lesbians were like aliens or something. Like they were something like, it was like a disease you had or something. Well, lesbian, what the hell? That's, you know, some kind of bizarre thing, you know, and you find, oh, you mean they just have sex. Oh, okay, that makes sense. You know, they thought they were like monsters or something, like Sasquatch or something. But yeah, I never really thought they were nihilists. I mean, I never thought there was such a thing as a person who denied the significance of sentient experience.
Yeah. Oh shit, I'm echoing. I can't turn it up. Oh wait, was it? Oh, okay, I'll turn it up. So yeah, no, I think I used to be an nihilist without like knowing. I kind of like, well, I was just like, you know, we died. Like I knew that we're dead. You know, what's the point? But then I didn't like get much further than there. I was an antinatalist at the same time because I was like, well, I'm not having a fucking kid because I don't know what's gonna happen. But I think I was an nihilist. It's just easy to just be like, all right, well, if there's no goal here, like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, I think I could be a nihilist in the sense of being a nihilist on gameplay, having a purpose. You know, saying that life doesn't have a purpose. You know, I'll be nihilist in that sense. But you know, any sense where I negate the existence of the consequential value. You know, and there was no point in my life where I didn't think it was significant. 7 million Jews were in concentration camps. You know, it never occurred to me to think it doesn't matter what happens to people on Earth. You know what I mean? So that I could never be a nihilist in the sense of not being concerned that it was bad shit happening.
Yeah, I guess there's a big difference between. Can you mute that? Just use your headphone. Like thinking it's pointless to thinking it. Meaningless. You know, like the meaning but it's in the sense that it's having a real conscious experience. So I think that's the big distinction.
Yeah, well, thinking that it's a stupid game and saying it's not a game are two different things, I guess. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, yeah, it's a deal. It's not no deal. So you know, it's a bad deal, but it's not no deal. It's not a nothing. It's a something. It just the something sucks. So you can be nihilist on the positive advantage of it or the use of it or the function of it. But like I said, you can't really be nihilist on the fact that it's happening and it's significant. At least I can't understand for the life. And like I said, never even. You know, I was always kind of, you know, like I said, I can't say there was any point in my life where I wasn't aware of the fact that I wasn't the only consciousness. You know what I mean? It was like occurred to me very early in my life that the other shit had an interest, and so I was I was automatically curious about how they managed life because I was curious about how I would manage life. So I would watch ants because I'd say, how do ants work it out? Or how does this work? You know, I was always curious to see how does the other things that are doing what I'm doing working it out. So it never really occurred to me to say it wasn't significant. I mean, I always had a sense that, you know, there's all this other stuff playing the same game.
I guess you could argue like that it causes suffering, like certain things, not all things, but certain things cause suffering, and then, but it's not like the thing in itself. It's the suffering that produces it. Like I could like avocados, and you could think avocados are disgusting, and they would make you nauseous or something, and then it's not the avocado in itself that causes suffering. It's not the thing. You know, it's the suffering produced within the brain. So, I mean, I think some people get hung up on that. Like they say, well, I like this and they like that. So,
well, they
I mean,
think value is a projection, and they're not recognizing that the projector is making the value. It's not just that it's projecting value; it's that it's making value by creating those projections. So even when you have an emotional response, it's still a value sensation. Okay, I mean, feeling bad emotionally is the same as feeling bad, you know, for some other reason. So I'm just saying it's still a bad feeling, and it's a projection, and it's not rational, but it still has value in the sense that you're experiencing a depression, or you're experiencing guilt, or you're experiencing some negative sensation. So there's still negative sensation. So it's to deny the existence of what the projector does, which is create value. The fact that it's projecting it onto things irrationally or illogically, because the projector sometimes projects irrationally, doesn't mean projectors don't exist. They exist in each one of our heads, and each one of us is creating value by having sensations, period. I mean, it seems that logical to me. I don't, you know, it's not, it's completely uncomplicated. So anyway, I must go, and if you're still here later, I'll be back. But until the next time, and such.
All right. Thanks for coming.
Bye.
Hello and goodbye and such. Such. I can hit the button.
Oh, is that Marko?
Yes, it is.
Wait, I can't hear.
How about now?
Press mute.
Okay. All right, never mind. Oh, yeah, what's up, Marko?
What's going on, man? I just wanted to stop by.
Yeah, Dee wanted to have a hangout. I've got some shit I need to do, but, I mean, I don't know what if it's useful or anything, or I probably should do it, you know, announce one, like, a month in advance or something so everyone knows it's going on, or it can actually be interesting or have some value to it, you know, it's not the same shit. But, I was just wondering if you're watching, like, any of the live conversations going on or anything.
I'm trying to keep up. I'll be honest with you. I'm trying to keep up little by little. Look, I took a break, man, like 8 months ago. I got kind of really frustrated, and you know, maybe it's just on my part, but you know, look, I had it out with Old Fan. I kind of feel bad. I said a lot of bad shit. Like I didn't like the way she's presenting it, all cartoonish. I'm very much a I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's a bad thing or not, but I'm pretty direct in the sense that, look, I want the truth to fall on itself, right? The artistic manner in which she has decided to take antinatalism, in my opinion, I think it's hurting. If there is, you want to say there's a community, fine. If not, I don't care. It's not something that I got a call. Can you excuse me for 1 second, Mike?
Yeah, sure. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, good.
All right, sorry about that. And
Okay, listen.
it's it's something that I take very. Look, this is like my entire life. This is all I think about. I go to work, and this is what I think about. You guys know very well that I'm an antinatalist with kids, and it's even that much more personal. Personal not because it makes me better or it makes me worse, but it's just the fact that, oh shit, I just came into realization and I can't take back anything. And now not only do I have to exist with my own consciousness, I have to watch two consciousnesses that I have produced, and now I have to watch them. And it starts very young because I can see all these things in my own kids. I can see them. It's what's very interesting is I kind of have a natural kinship with Jim Crawford. He has 2 daughters himself. It's exactly what I have, and he was the first antinatalist that I came across. I probably said this story a million times, so I apologize if I'm,
No, I haven't heard your story, so I didn't know that you came across Jim Crawford first, but it's all new to me.
Yeah, I mean, look, the very first video was I used to be very much into the political scene, and somebody who I was subscribed to, Gary was doing DNG debates, Do Not God debates, and there was like 23 of them. This was like in 2011. So it was like DNG.02 that she liked, and I happened to look at it, and he mentioned that was the first time I've ever heard of the word antinatalism. So I said, fuck it. This is YouTube. Let me just type in antinatalism. And that's when Jim Crawford's actually video came up first, and it said the greatest taboo. And, you know what happens. You guys are very familiar. You type in one thing, you start researching. It's like a goddamn waterfall. So I ended up coming across that he wrote a book. And I bought his book and I read his book, and then I started slowly, just kind of watching videos and watching what people say, and of course, you know how good and bad at the same time it feels that there's other people out there who have the same thoughts and feel about the world and life and all this other shit the same way as you do. So that's kind of how it started for me. Except I have kids. I had already had them. And then when you start to reflect on your own interpersonal feelings and how far back these thoughts go, I mean, Jesus Christ, when Gary says he knew life was fucked up since he was like 8 years old, yeah, I can sympathize with that. I mean, I've kind of.
And how do you be honest with a kid? Like you want them to remain in some sort of delusion, because you want them to be happy. Like you don't want to crush them with pessimism too young or something. So that's really.
I mean it like this. I mean it like this in the sense that I kind of knew. Now, how the fuck did I end up having 2 kids? How did I not make the connection? Right? Obviously I didn't make a connection because I had kids. You know what I mean? But it was always there. It's not like something. Okay, somebody mentioned on YouTube. No, when you start to reflect and you start to go back and you start to, holy shit. Well, wow, this is why I was such a loner when I was in my teens. This is why when I talked about things, nobody's interested. Or when other people were engaging in certain activities at such young age, I really had no interest in it. You know what I mean? And yeah, I read books, back then, and I was interested. But there was never this, it was all broken. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's almost like, it sounds like you're describing something like a self-fulfilling prophecy or something, like as if like you knew, but like it just spun out of control anyway,
There was there was no place to put it, right? I guess I didn't have any way to label it because you begin to think that it's you, right? Because society and the social norms say, well, look, if you're not following certain patterns, well, then maybe the way you're thinking is the problem. And now, obviously, I think you guys can at least somewhat attest to this, that, you know what? We're not the fucking crazy ones. It's them. It's not us. Not us.
Yeah, I remember I actually discovered Chopin. Actually, it was like 2008, and I was researching like political things during the economic collapse and the first recession back in 2008. This was a long time ago, so I got into politics and Noam Chomsky and how the world worked. That was sort of my first introduction. Sort of like I was indoctrinated into like the delusional fairy tale world that America is great and everything, and stereotypical pop culture type stuff. Right, so I sort of broke free from that, and then that led we've got this economic system that's completely unstable. You have an empire that is run on corporation interests and cruel foreign policy, dictated by corporations like Halliburton and stuff. So I started to get pessimistic. This was, wow, a pretty long time ago. So I was just trying to educate myself as much as possible about like world issues. And I was also sort of into philosophy, but it was only until I found Schopenhauer that I found a brain that like really resonated with me. And that was even maybe a couple years prior to me finding the YouTube antinatalist scene, and that sort of just sealed the deal, like seeing Inmendham's videos and Derived Energy's old videos, and it was just kind of a progression on that lines, like on it was sort of organic in the sense that I was already really prepared for it. So it's sort of hard for me to put myself in someone else's shoes who is, so owned by their psychology or religious even, I can't even, it's just getting further. It just seems too far remote of a place in their own brain from where they're looking at the world with such an optimistic perspective. When, I mean, I just look at like the statistics and what is the cost of a life in the first world, and what's the worst case scenario kind of thing. And maybe that's partially just my brain. Like I've always sort of been inclined to risk aversion and stuff, but
that's a good point. You're right. I think it intrinsically existed in you first, and once you were able to identify, then you were able to analyze, and you were able to look at numbers, and you were able to look at statistics, and you were able to associate other people's experiences and your own experiences, and you were able to compile this. But for most of us, we've kind of already known. We didn't have to see any data. We just it was kind of already innate in us through our little experiences as as we saw things, which I know I'm going in a different direction, but it just makes it hard for me to understand how people can completely just fucking not even, completely avoid it. You know what I mean? It's right in their face.
I think it's just a lot more comfortable to just avoid it. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my gosh, like it's just easy for them to put it out of their minds or something and act like it's not there. And I mean, it is optimism bias all over the place, I guess. I guess that's just the prevailing psychological feature, is that you're built that way. I mean, it's almost, people are built to be motivated. So I don't know what kind of sort of antecedents are necessary to generate like philosophical thinking, like realizing you're running around in a circle. I don't know what it is. Like this was one of the things, like very early. It just seems like there is no ultimate fulfillment or completion type thing. So I don't know. I mean, and that was always a problem. And it's not as if the process is necessarily that painful for me, but if it was more, I mean, I don't know. I'm just going all over the place here, but
it's all right.
It is sort of, it's hard, and I can relate to like the being a loner thing, and I didn't know why, and I just thought I was weird, or I thought I don't know. I definitely had, and I probably still do, but I had a very inaccurate perception of myself. So, but I do relate to feeling as if I'm wrong, they're right, and even in my earliest like philosophy classes and stuff, there was a lot of this like pop philosophy garbage, like Randian philosophy, Nietzsche. They still teach that in universities, and then of course like postmodernism and all this crap. So I mean I actually tried, like I tried to read Jean-Paul Sartre, I tried to read Nietzsche, and it just seemed like a bunch of, at best, poetry, at best just word games and stuff. So it just didn't seem to have any. It just seemed pretentious or overly verbose, convoluted language that was just designed to create this brain matrix with no substance, just this vacuous nonsense, And I think a lot of philosophers maybe just made their living, like the old philosopher. I'm not the old, but like early 1900s, early or late 1800s, like Jean-Paul Sartre and stuff. In my opinion, I think it was just, phantasmagoria intellectualized or something, that kind of thing. And I might be wrong, but that's what I got out of it, just vacuousness.
No, I mean, I can to a degree agree with your assessment, but the sad part is obviously, I mean, just because you're a little bit younger than me, I mean, I think you've had enough interaction with people that they actually believe this shit, right? And I'm not talking about reading, but you could see. I mean, we're very much in a minority, Mike. We're very much. I mean, you look at people, and again, we see it because we see it differently. It's that much more. It's that much more evident that, oh my God, these people are fucked up. But remember, this is really how they see it. This is their reality. This is how they see existence. It's not fake to them. It's as real. It's as real to them as our philosophy is to us, except. I think you and I can obviously argue that the philosophical stance that we have taken is probably the most accurate description of reality. But to sit here and observe and watch people, no, they really, they believe that shit. No matter how bad things. I mean, I see people all the time, and coworkers and family members. And they go through all this shit, and it's like, year after year and decade after decade of them having the same conversation and the same life experience and the same, and it never clicks for them. Where for us, it always seemed, yeah, I kind of always knew it was like this. It was always like this. How the fuck do you people not get this? How much more experience do you have to have behind you to say, oh shit, wow, you know what? This is just not right. But people do it all the time. That's the hard thing.
Yeah, especially if they're just waking up, going to work, coming home, getting drunk, going back to work. I mean, there's a lot of people like that. They just go to work, get drunk on the weekends, or do some kind of drug or something, and that's just it for 30 years or something, And yeah, they'll go to a baseball game, or they'll go hang out with people at a bar or something, or every once in a while they'll go on a trip. But it just seems like the monotony of it was really clear to me. Don't you people ever stop and realize you're just running in a circle? And I mean, not to disenchant their struggle or whatever, but philosophically at least they could recognize, because we're doing the same thing. We're trying to eke out an existence, we're trying to survive, we're trying to provide and be as comfortable as we can be, and but philosophically, at least I can recognize that, yes, ultimately it is pointless. Ultimately, it is redundant. And at base level, it's just an attempt to satisfy basic needs and wants, and you're sort of trapped in that desire / motivation mechanism, which just keeps you hungry for more. So. I mean, for me especially, it's frustrating when you see people, and they are very well off, or they have millions of dollars or something, and they're still greedy for more,
Right.
When every comfort has been provided for them, but now their ego has so inflated and gotten so out of control that they're just these monsters, you know, these, and not like the average human isn't one, but you know what I mean, like you can be so costly, and it seems to me like the average person, I mean, they're more interested in just being rich than any kind of, you know, greater cause or point to their life or effect, you know, something like that. But yeah, it is all kind of dismal, and I don't know. I mean, maybe people do on a subconscious level, you know, feel it or think it more, but it is sort of taboo still. So you know, it's almost as if you can't. Complaining or being critical is frowned upon. You know, there's a lot of positive affirmation, you know, building yourself up kind of thing, motivational. You know, that seems to be the dominant culture. Just keep on trying, keep on pushing, instead of stop and analyze. So,
well, obviously, this is you know, all this stuff can be very crippling to, you know, the human psychology, right? As we understand it, right? I mean, it can cripple you in many ways. I mean, to the point where you can't even get out of bed and function. Listen, my ex is totally on board with antinatalism. Gets it, got it. The one thing, I mean, of course, obviously, I fundamentally, disagree with how she's handling it, but she said, look, because and this is what ended my marriage in not so many ways, and which is fine. It's okay. I get it in many ways too. So I'm trying to be understanding of the humans, you know, the nature, the psychology of the brain. Look, she understands it. She agrees with it philosophically, but she says, I can't live in it. I can't live in it because if I live in it, I can't function. And if I can't function, I can't raise our kids.
Yeah, right. I mean, there has to be some sort of, because you're always in a way living with that dissonance, right? Where your psychology is separate from your ability to motivate yourself has to sort of be diluted. You know, you have to be somewhat delusional at times just to motivate the psychology to be separate from the, if your philosophical outlet is so pessimistic, you know, so it's almost like a necessity, but then you always have that dissonance hanging over you where you know, the futility and the pointlessness sort of, you know, brings its ugly head to the surface. And you know, it's definitely hard, especially if you're in it as deep as we are. You know, like there'll be times when I'm like working really hard and like pushing myself and whatnot, and then I just kind of like collapse almost, because it's like, what's the point? You know, it's almost like, you know, what I'm not getting anywhere, and that's where like the introspection comes in. So it's almost as if it's like an extra problem that someone who may not be so pessimistic or philosophical doesn't necessarily have. Because I know, for me personally, I know that like knowing the truth or trying to come to an accurate or working model of it was really important. So, you know, I couldn't see how someone couldn't think that wasn't an important thing, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a juggling act or something. Like you have to, in my opinion, you have to be somewhat delusional at times, just for your psychology. You know, there has to be some kind of psychological mechanism, like keeping you in the game if you have to be there for other people. You know, and that kind of brings up like the whole right to die and kind of, you know, people say, why don't you just commit suicide or something? Well, you know, it's not about me, and at this point in my life, a lot of people rely on me and count on me, so I really have no choice, you know, but to stay in the game and to try my best to be productive. So yeah, it's I don't know what to say, because I don't know what the psychological establishment would I mean, probably they would just label us all, chronic depressives or something and give us a bunch of prescription drugs or something. So I don't know exactly. I try to stay away from that and just try to think as critically as possible about different states that I'm in, or sorry, I'm rambling again. I don't mean to not let you other guys talk as well. If you have anything to interject, feel free.
It's cool, man. Seriously.
Yeah.
This is, you know what? I don't want it to be a situation where, look, ramble on, man. It's your fucking room. Do what you want. I'm listening. I'm here. I'm cool with it. I ramble. We all ramble. So, yeah, no pressure. I know some people. Look, I do know some people tend to want to get to the point, stuff like that, and some of us are not like that. But just to bring up a point about something. It's funny. I listen to a lot of Grey Taicho's videos. Like, I love his videos. I fucking rip them from his page. I've put them on MP3, and I play them in my car on my way to work. When I'm busy at work, I have them on my fucking I got a Sony MP3 player. I mean, this shit, I fucking eat it for fucking lunch and dinner and fucking breakfast all goddamn day long. So, but I'm reminded, when we're talking about this whole, how do we approach this in this whole psychological, quandary you might find yourself interpersonally, I always go back and I think about the video that Grey Taicho made about Inmendham, and it's actually called Inmendham, and he says Inmendham is completely irrelevant. Antinatalism serves at fuck. I wish I had it in my head. Basically, what he says is if you're going to have this philosophy serves as a prescription. And if it doesn't serve as a prescription, then it's pointless doing it. All right? If you have a prescription for life, then you need to do something with it, right? You know what? I should find it. Is there a way to look? I don't know Google real well, but is there a way to put a link to it? I mean, I would love to play it or somebody listen to it. I don't want to fucking. I hate destroying somebody else's good work by just trying to randomly paraphrase it.
Who are you talking about?
There's a YouTube user called Grey Taicho, and what he does is he's phenomenal at editing, and he takes a lot of Gary's videos, and what he'll do is he'll chop up some of the good parts and he'll add background music to it. And there's probably one of my favorite pieces that he has done. I mean, kind of explains or puts into perspective exactly what Mike was kind of talking about, in the sense that, look, we're trying to juggle, but the fact of the matter is if we know the truth about something and we understand something to be true, you either take it and do something with it, or you don't do philosophy at all. Don't do philosophy if it's not going to serve as a prescription to serve you in trying to change things and trying to make move in the world, if you will, right? That kind of shit.
Exactly.
I just don't want to.
Yeah, you're stuck in the game now. So, like, what are you gonna do? I mean, you can be another suicide statistic, now, or you can be. I mean, if your plan is ultimately to commit suicide, you could be a suicide statistic that actually did something and actually tried to be productive, tried to be a valuable human being, and tried to at least be honest. I mean, I think just being honest is more than, it's just so much better than the average. I mean, if you're honest about your intentions, if you're honest about what's on your mind, what your perspective is, I think you're doing a lot more. If you're just honest about your psychology and you're honest about, like, yeah, I'm selfish. Yeah, my friends are selfish. Yeah, we're selfish. We're selfish need machines. And yeah, I think there's a lot to do, and I like that whole idea that, yeah, you're in the game, and you've prescribed this as the truth, but it's sort of like philosophical discussions like this sort of just end up in this, like, black box or something, and I think there is, like, a pragmatic element, instead of just putting it in some black box and just being like, okay, that exists, and you don't want to live with the dissonance that this stuff. Sorry, I can't.
Sorry, what's all that?
Women.
Mhm.
Is that me? Am I?
Him.
I don't know. I think it was Marko was like power stalling or something. I don't know. I don't know what just happened.
Oh, this is a really good chat. Actually, some of the stuff you were saying, James, it brought up some stuff I've been thinking about. Because my journey, I've learned a lot of stuff that I wish I didn't know, and like, I mean, just about how the world is just so messed up, and I mean, I don't really see much that I like about it, and uh, it seems like the more I learn about what's going on, philosophy and everything, the the more pointless I see existence, and it just ruins my whole work ethic of wanting to succeed in like in a career or even finding like a girlfriend or looking for friends. It seems like it's pretty pointless because very few people are like us that we learn stuff and we think about stuff. Most people don't do that. They don't care. They just go through life pretty mindlessly. And I mean, I don't have anybody that I support. I mean, I'm basically I just support myself. So it's like it's harder for me to really care about stuff. That's been my struggle.
Well, it's
And
you brought up a couple things like the fact that you know it now, so it's hard to unknow it, and then there's like living with that dissonance that you have or whatever, and I don't think that antinatalism necessarily has to like crush an individual. I mean, I think in a way, like I mean, I've been doing YouTube for like 3 years, and like I've seen people and it's crushed them, um, and then I've seen other people who've sort of used it as a strength and as like a foundation for more confidence or an ability to go in a direction that they wouldn't have gone in, but now there's almost an element of less fear or less anxiety um, concerning their own, success. So there's almost like, um, the more, the further down in the dungeon of reality, the more anxiety or depression you do have, concerning your own welfare. It's almost as if now you have more confidence to actually speak your mind or actually do something that you feel it will be productive. But yeah, I mean, definitely, like I definitely don't think that people should dwell in it too often, and I think that if they feel as if it's like crushing them psychologically or they're too depressed, I think they should take a break and do something else, anything, to get them motivated, to actually be productive or I don't want to just have a platform for people to wallow in depression.
yeah,
I don't want that to be, I don't want that to be the end, pragmatic result of antinatalist philosophy. It gives people at least if they can do something. They don't have to save the world. They don't have to. Um, they, I mean, really philosophically, all they have to do is be honest and try to think critically, and suspend judgment, and to try to have an open mind, and they can make their own decisions. But I definitely don't think it should crush you or you know.
yeah,
And I think when people are first introduced to it, I think it has that effect, but then I think it sort of wears off over time. Like they just develop that part of them. Like I am an antinatalist, but this is a part of my life that is controversial, and most people don't share this exact same philosophical position, or they're not even thinking about it. So this is just an area in which I'm involved in, but I'm doing other things and trying to live a life that's productive or comfortable. I mean, I don't think that. Yeah. Anyway, so
No, that makes
rambling on again. Sorry.
no, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I mean, because I mean, in a sense, like, yeah, a lot of this stuff in society is very pointless, but you have to do it. I mean, just as the way society's set up, you have to play at least some of the game. And uh, yeah, it's been like, I guess for the past year, it's kind of been just a bad year for me because like all the stuff I've learned, I just have felt like I'm in this big theater play that I thought was real, and I find out it's not. I mean, I don't like being an actor. I don't like this, and I've been dealing with that. So yeah, it is nice to find. I just like seeing how people are dealing with it in a positive way.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, there's almost like the actor analogy or like the theater analogy. There's almost like a humor to that. Like you can like the more you're away from the play and the more you're analyzing the exact characters, you can see through the psychological veneer and you can see the mask that they wear, and and just playing a role within their personalities or within their personal um, class or um, their the role that they present to society. But then you can see that beneath what they're presenting to society is not that at all, and you can see that their real desires or whatnot. And yeah, it's almost as if people are in a game, and I guess the most humorous characters are the ones that don't really know, that don't really see the absurdity in the role that they're playing. They take their role seriously, when in reality they're not anything better than eating and shitting and selfishly trying to satisfy their needs or desires. So I
yeah,
mean, I guess there's a dark humor in it. It's not necessarily funny at times, but there is an element where it's just ridiculous to watch it.
yeah, yeah,
And I
exactly.
guess yeah. I like the maze analogy. Like we have these people and they're running in a maze, or these rats in a maze, and if you're one of the rats on the maze wall, and the longer you spend on that wall observing what the people chase and what they try to obtain, you can you can really pick into their psychology, and also oftentimes it's like the most it's sometimes the people that are like really successful or something, and they just have like these really fucked up psychologies, and they're going home and they're a completely different person than the person they are publicly. So
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of it. I definitely relate with that game or theater analogy. But hey,
yeah,
Flower, how you doing?
Flora. Yeah,
Hi, I'm just waiting to go to work outside. I probably have 10 or 15 minutes before I go to work. I'm just listening.
yeah. It's one thing. There's this guy called Ram Dass, and I like what he said. It seems to go in the same vein. Uh, it seems like uh, there's like this agreement that people have, and it's I'm supposed to let you believe you are who you say you are, and you're supposed to do the same with me. And when people, when they override that, when they try to say, hey, that's not right. You're wrong. Blah blah blah. I mean, it seems like people, their whole perception of who they are is crushed, and that's why people get really angry. And I mean, and I've seen that. Like, I mean, it goes on so many levels, like racism, political stuff, uh, religion, and once you start to dismantle someone's beliefs, their sense of reality is destroyed. I mean, that's why my family, they're all fundamentalist Christians, and they won't even listen to me. Like, uh, and this is after years and years of me being brainwashed by them. And when I try to tell them what I found out and how I know they're wrong, they shut me out. And that's because if they listened to me, their sense of reality would be destroyed, and they can't afford to do that. So it's like, I think that's how people are. A lot of people are very fragile, and if they got a sense of what reality is like, then I mean, there's no telling what they would do, because they'd have to look inside themselves. They'd have to see what's really going on, and it's not an easy pill to take.
Your position, or they're not even going to listen to your position. Like, where's the conversation even going to develop from? You know what I mean? Like, you have someone and they're not even going to suspend their judgment for a minute. They're
Exactly.
just automatically, they have some premise in their head that they haven't questioned. So it's a matter of challenging assumptions. And once an assumption is so, like, deeply ingrained in someone, you know, how are you going to tell someone, you know, that everything that they've been told is wrong? Or, you know what I mean? I mean, it's just so, because we are creatures of habit, so we're going to follow the same train of thought through, you know, and the longer it's ingrained, the harder it is going to be to break. You can indoctrinate a child into almost anything, but to try to change an adult, you know, who has been, you know, like a 50-year-old man who has been a Christian their entire life and they've never questioned it, and let's say they've been successful in whatever their profession is, you know, how are you going to break that stubbornness of thought? You know, it's really difficult. And
Yeah, it's integral to their self-identity.
yeah, and there's also ego involved. You know, it's like, who are you to question me? You know, and a lot of times I think people, they sort of just follow whatever is, you know, whatever their favorite celebrity is saying or something. You know, it's as if there's no real, and maybe that's a problem with the education system as well, because I know critical thinking wasn't taught in the public school that I went to, and you know, I don't know what's more integral to philosophy than critical thinking. You know, being able to, you know, they don't teach critical thinking. I mean, some universities teach critical thinking, but it's not a required course. It should be a mandated course, in my opinion. Like, people should go through years of training in critical thinking and identifying fallacies, identifying bad arguments versus good arguments, and doing deduction. So, yeah, I don't know. It's definitely hard, but especially if you can't even, if you have no vestige of a common ground to work from, you know. So, but I don't know. I think different people respond to different things. Like, some people are going to just react solely to emotional appeals, and some people are going to want just the strict argument and the statistics. But I would be more inclined to think that most people are going to react emotionally first before falling into, you know, a long bout of introspection.
Well, yeah, that's the first thing the
I don't know if that's
politicians. I'm sorry. That's the first thing the politicians appeal to is emotion, and that's how they, I mean, get the votes. That's what Hitler did.
That's okay.
Yeah, and once you have a strong leader or something, and they just push forward their rhetoric, and once people are indoctrinated heavily enough, you can basically like a child, you can indoctrinate them into any view of the world, no matter how uh, insane or illogical it is. There's a movie called Dogtooth, and it sort of analyzes the perception of of children in a family that are controlled by this like complete control freak father who shelters them entirely from the real world, and he creates this absolutely nonsensical version of reality by distorting the language in which they use. And um, I would recommend it to. It is sort of philosophical, and it examines the idea of perception and how people's perception are early on shaped by their experiences.
Hello?
And
Hello?
yeah, hi John, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
I don't mean to ramble on. If you got something, by all means you can bring it up or whatever.
I was just going by YouTube and yeah, I stumbled upon you guys, and I've been hearing you guys for about an hour now, and the topics that you're discussing are quite interesting to me. So that's why I'm still hanging around. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to present some kind of topics that are relevant to people, because this is sort of supposed to be antinatalist, but I'm willing to go in different directions as well if the
Yeah.
antinatalist argument has been done over and over and over again. I mean, I'm willing to talk about other things as well. So anything really philosophical, I'll give you my honest opinion. So yeah, that's basically what we were here for tonight. I wasn't even planning on staying that long, but here I am now. So I'll just do what I can. But I guess D can try to fill in if I have to go. But thanks for watching.
Yeah. No problem. Yeah.
Well, it is nice y'all have a alternative to Flyora because she was actually wanting someone to host Hangouts uh, other than herself. So, I mean, she was the main one doing it. And it's nice.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine it gets burdensome to run a chat for 7 hours long or something. I mean, it can be, marathon sessions, and a lot of times you're just running around in circles. But I have no problem holding it when she's not holding it, and I know there's a lot of people who are running into roadblocks in their thinking, or they're just depressed, or they've reached a spot psychologically where they don't know necessarily where to go or what course of action to take, because their philosophy has put them in a position that prevents them from being motivated or something. So all I can really do is present like my personal experience with the philosophy, and what kind of things developed in my brain. I don't know how much value that'll be, but
Just a question before I go.
try my
It's a bit of
what
lag.
they can bring up anything. Best and best,
Did you invite Hazy?
definitely more prolific. And when she doesn't do it, we can be around.
Sorry.
Oh,
So it looks like it's nice and daytime there in, what's that, Flyara land. Looks like it's morning. It's 10:48 at night here. I don't know where you guys are coming from.
Yeah, it's almost 1 p.m. here. Alright, I'm going. I'll try to get Hazy to join the room.
Oh, Hazy's coming? Oh, California.
I'm not sure. I'll try to get him to join by adding him. I told him that you have a hangout. He might join.
Yeah, Hazy's always, he's always pretty good and clear and has some good things to say. So I've appreciated my conversations with Hazy, and he's pretty knowledgeable on a wide range of topics. So I think Hazy's a good person to kind of analyze things with. And but yeah, you were saying like to Lucid Man, like your experience has been sort of. You said you got into this like a year ago, and I don't know what framework you were coming from when you started getting into philosophy or antinatalism. It would be interesting to hear like what place you were at in your own brain, and like how you were able to open up, because so few people are able to sort of open up to antinatalism or something.
Well, it was um, about a year ago. I got really into environmentalism and started looking at what's going on with all the ecosystems and the oceans and like forests and just how everything is disappearing. And I mean, I got really alarmed, and that eventually led to finding this guy called Guy McPherson, who runs a site called Nature Bats Last, and he's kind of like Doctor Doom. He's saying that, I don't know, by 2030 or so, humans will be extinct due to runaway climate change. And he's just taking a bunch of science and a bunch of stuff he sees and putting the pieces together and coming to the conclusion that we're screwed. And that was pretty much a bombshell, because I mean, I'm like, I'm not really completely sold on it, but I'm like, it's definitely a possibility, and that pretty much killed my future, because I'm like, I'm 29, and I mean, I'm not going to grow old, and I mean, like, we're all going to die, so.
Yeah, well, I remember encountering Guy McPherson before I encountered Inmendham's videos.
Yeah,
and
me too.
That's just sort of, yeah, me too. That's one of the things with population, with overpopulation, is that it's not necessarily the it's not an level of comfort. It's the fact that you just can't sustain 14 billion people. Or, I mean, there is going to be a die-off period where this world is not going to be able to function at our level of comfort. We can't have first world lifestyles for billions upon billions of people. And when China, I mean, like China, India are becoming more and more industrialized, thus accelerating climate change. I mean, what are going to be the impacts in 50 years, 100 years? I mean, it's going to be a whole different world. And I do think, I think there's already wars for resources. It's not necessarily affecting the prices so drastically in the United States, but I mean, we are involved in an endless war in the Middle East, and it sort of centralizes around this idea that we have a limited amount of resources, and you can't have a economic system based on infinite growth on a planet with finite resources. So what's the end game? It's certainly, unless if there's some sort of technological revolution in which is able to cure material needs. How do you have infinite growth, a model of theoretically infinite growth on a planet with finite resources? So, yeah, I mean, his stuff is definitely really interesting, and I know his conclusion is ultimately doom, and that's sort of one of the problems that is relevant to antinatalism is that you can, if you have a comfortable first world existence, what's the cost on the environment? What's the cost on labor in the third world? And what's the overall material cost when there's already 8 billion people and counting? So, yeah, I mean, his stuff is definitely really interesting. I don't know if you've seen his talk with Inmendham, but he recently had an interview with Inmendham, and they seem to be on the same page.
Yeah, I was just watching it about an hour ago, and it was kind of weird because Gary was not raging, and he was like, he's actually a really good interviewer when he wants to be, and it was quite nice. And it was funny. I came in the chat a little while ago, and I asked Gary about it, and I found it it was funny because Gary was like, "Oh, he's a nice guy. He doesn't really go far enough," and I'm like, uh, I mean, Guy McPherson's like the most extreme doomer that I've ever heard of, but it's like it's not far enough for Gary, and it just, I don't know, that's kind of ironic to me. But yeah, finding all that information, that, like, I mean, who knows how long we have left? It just was, it kind of just destroys all your, your future. And it made me angry because I was like, here's all these young people who have all these wonderful, like, possible years ahead of them, and because of the way everything's been going for so long, they are left with nothing. And most people don't understand this. The ones that do, it crushes them, and it's really hard to take. And that's been my journey, just trying to find, to get back on my feet again and just keep going. But it sucks because it seems like at every turn, like doomers in that whole Guy McPherson community, they're like, they call, I mean, if you have any hope or if you are positive about stuff, they call you like you have hopium, or you're a Pollyanna. And it's like, it just gets to be like, can you be positive about anything and even have anything you can talk about with these people? It's just,
Well, I guess the only positive for antinatalist is that the game won't last forever. There will come a point where everything is destroyed, through natural disasters or, through a catastrophic event like a nuclear war or a comet or asteroid, or, you know what I mean, like a super volcano or something. So, I mean, the game definitely won't last forever. We're a finite species. We won't last. We'll go extinct like every other species. So I guess that's the only positive for, antinatalists or something, is that they know that eventually it is doomed. But I don't see any sense of not trying to at least be productive while you're here and trying to do something. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty pessimistic with the whole climate change, impact on the environment and war that is fought with oil and other resources. So there is definitely multiple communities functioning with very intelligent people, and they're saying the same things. There is an academic community called Negative Utilitarian, group of negative utilitarians, and their strict goal is just to reduce suffering. And they're aware of impacts of different things like climate change, but I think their goal is just, in the meantime, how do you mitigate against that? And there's plenty of academic philosophers who are basically, their goal now is basically just to mitigate against the harm that's already being done and to reduce the impact. So I guess there is definitely like a divide of people. Like you have the vehement voluntary human exchange movement, which in my opinion, they're sort of out there because they have no regards to nature, or they value nature as if nature is intelligent. And in my opinion, nature is one of the things that needs to be controlled and needs intervention with, civilization needs to intervene with nature and control as much damage as possible concerning wild animal suffering. So I think
because humans are very new to this whole game. I mean, nature's existed for what, billions of years without us. I mean, I don't see why they need us.
Right, exactly. Nature doesn't need us, but nature has no brain. So I'm just saying, like, there should be a reduction in wild animal suffering, because there's, like, if you look at it from a strictly macro perspective of the amount of suffering, most of the suffering on planet Earth occurs in nature, in the wild, in forests and jungles and things. Animals eating each other, animals starving, animals, freezing to death, that kind of thing. So, I'm just saying there's a lot of harm. The majority of the harm from a strictly utilitarian or negative utilitarian perspective is occurring in nature itself. Not to say that humans aren't a big concern, and are humans a part of the cure? Probably not. I mean, as it is now, I mean, we don't really have a regard for animal welfare, and I mean, overall, I mean, my assessment is that if there is some kind of catastrophic disaster caused by humans, it'll just be some sort of sloppy mess, and it won't be a complete extinction of the species right away. It'll be some sort of slow decline of civilization, like a worldwide nuclear war or something would probably just lead to barbaric anarchy or something. If you had complete collapse of law, you would just have people on survival mode, and it would probably it would be like another dark age for civilization. So yeah, I mean, I definitely think like immediate things need to be done to prevent that, because I was sort of talking about this last night, but I think the main problem is you can't have accelerating technology and also have freedom. You can't have, everyone can't own a nuclear weapon or a bazooka or a 3D printer in their home and print guns, or have access to biotech weapons or something. So with the acceleration of technology, you need a lot of caution and prudence and wisdom in control of that technology. So I'm sorry for rambling on here, but I'm just saying that, like, in my opinion, the risk-averse solution would be more prudent, because the potential harm in which the future technologies could cause seems to be, it seems, in my brain, it seems to outweigh whatever potential advantages it could produce. And I do think technology ultimately would be the solution. But I don't to really play with that kind of technology with the right caution. I don't think we have the right economic system in place. You can't have a selfish economic system and people with superior technology, because it'll just be used as another layer of exploitation. So it is there's I posted a video a while ago, but I guess I could post it again. But there's a institute in I forget what university it is. Shit. one of the Ivy League schools has a institute or a foundation, a program that assesses catastrophic risks and the exact probability or their estimation of probability of different catastrophic risks. And nuclear war and biotech, I think, are the two highest. But I think also artificial intelligence is another high risk thing to potential extinction of the human race, and also runaway climate change is another one. I think that's even less of a risk to actual extinction and biotech weapons or artificial intelligence. But definitely the environment is faster. So I don't know how much you've researched Guy McPherson's work or how far. Oh, he left. I guess I just talked too much. Yeah. So he's gone. Anyway. So hey, what's up, John? Sorry for talking so much.
It's okay. I was listening. Yeah. So I'm having a hard time understanding what is antinatalism. Antinatalism. What is that? Like organization or some kind of social awareness or something? I don't know. What is it?
I would say I would just say it's just social awareness or a philosophical position that I guess regarding what we were just saying, overpopulation is a pretty serious concern, and oh, he's back. Sorry for talking so much. But anyway, antinatalism is basically the claim that humans should not be reproducing, and yeah, basically that's it. Is that humans don't have the right necessarily to reproduce, or they have no. Hi, Inmendham. There's Inmendham. So yeah, antinatalism is basically just saying you don't have the right to reproduce because it's risky, it's dangerous, it is someone else's welfare. A lot of arguments being made in antinatalist circles. You have David Benatar. One of the most famous ones is Arthur Schopenhauer, philosopher in the late 1800s. But yeah, that's antinatalism in a nutshell.
Thank you.
Hey, Inmendham.
Hello. So yeah, I don't know what you've been talking about, so I don't want to distract anything.
Well, Mike's just been talking for. Hold on a second. Yeah, Mike's just been talking for like a while. I don't know what he's talking about, but I'm not really paying attention.
Oh, okay. The same old shit, right? You heard it all before. Yeah, so I don't really.
We were talking about Guy McPherson and the environmental destruction, and more doom and gloom stuff, economic chaos, and potential things that could happen.
Yeah, well, it is sort of a background argument. Like, even if you weren't antinatalist because you thought life was a risky, just too dangerous a thing to play with, like nuclear power or something, just something too dangerous to mess with, because if it goes wrong, you can't clean it up. But even if you didn't realize that, even if you didn't have some kind of reason to feel obligated to protect the victims from being the victims, the ones who will pay the price for being alive, the worst price. Even if you didn't care about that, yeah, the game itself is finite. And we've set up like even you can go through the whole scenario that a comet's going to hit the Earth. It's inevitable. 5,000 years at best it's going to happen. So there'll be huge catastrophes of some kind. Like we've seen some taste of it, 9/11 or tsunamis or some other thing. But I mean, there's going to be really big ones, the volcanic ones, all kinds of scenarios are sitting out there just waiting. And here we've set up these ones that are just so obvious, like the whole economic facade of just creating rich people out of nothing. And where that can't be sustained, and then the environmental, the greenhouse shit, where most of the people on Earth live within 5 miles of the ocean, and their house is going to be washed away. Where are they going to live? Who's going to pay for all that shit?
Yeah. And how are you going to have a world with 14 billion people, without chaos ensuing?
Yeah, well, even now,
we're at 8 billion.
Well, it's 7, but I don't think you're going to get to 9, without you're going to start killing hundreds of millions a year to maintain that 9 billion. So yeah, I don't think the resources are going to be there. So I think there's going to be all kinds of, horrible conflicts created because of that resource deprivation. And just wait till people start hoarding stuff. Wait till there becomes any kind of crisis at all, and people start hoarding. It's the hoarding that'll be the real doom. Is when people take all the resources, the immediate resources, off the market and hoard them. You're talking about months of non-access to commodities, and that's going to create all kinds of horror.
Yeah, and you already see that hoarding. Rich people are just hoarding gold, silver, resources, food, guns.
Well, I don't think they're going to be the problem. Like I said, rich people are evil in the sense that their money's made out of nothing. I mean, there's no way to ever they can never get paid the money they think they're entitled to. Nobody's going to work for 50 years to make their money real. So their money is all fake, and that's so the rich aren't going to be rich too long. So that's not really a problem. The problem is you got 7 billion people, and like I said, once 3 billion of them start hoarding everything, 4 billion of them are going to be out of luck.
Well, you think there's eventually just going to be like a class war? Like that'll be the ultimate solution to the economic problem, that you're just not going to be able to hold up the rich?
There's no class war. There's going to, obviously the top 1,000% of the rich own as much as the bottom 50%. Okay, so you're talking about 0.01% of people who own, as much as 50% of the people. So there's no, what I mean? That war would last about 10 seconds if there was any kind of real class war. You know what I'm saying? The real liability is in the mega rich. So it's not the common rich who are the problem. It's the mega rich who are the problem.
Yeah, it seems like those mega rich they already have their deep underground bunkers that they're just going to go hide in.
Oh, who cares? There's only 10 of them. I'm just saying it's such a small amount of people.
Yeah.
Okay, about a tiny percentage of the human race, a few thousand people. So who cares what happens to them? That they're irrelevant. The point is that once all that fake money is destroyed in its value, you have to destroy all the money value to destroy that money. You know what I'm saying? That money. So you're going to have inflation, and you're going to have all kinds of other really things that people just aren't going to be able to live with, because we're not going to just kill the rich and take their money.
Right.
So the point is that somehow you have to make the money have no value, so you pay them back in money that doesn't have any value. That's the only way you can get rid of the rich. And when you do that, that means you go to work for 50 cents, and you're not going to go to work for 8 hours a day for 50 cents. You're going to say, fuck it, I might as well starve. I'm just saying there's no plan B here. So
there isn't.
When the shit hits the fan, it's going to be shit hitting the fan. It's not going to be pretty. So I'm just saying, but it's just that the point is that we have all these mechanisms we've set up, and anybody who's rational, who has a kid now, even if you think life is wonderful and beautiful and fantastic, you have to realize that this nest that you're laying your eggs in is putrefied. It's covered in maggots. You can't lay an egg in this nest. You got to clean up this world before you start making babies in it, because this world is not going to be nice to your child. It's going to be a brutal world your child's going to inherit from you.
I'm wondering, did you ever want kids, or did you know this kind of stuff for a long time?
I never had a hard on for a kid, so I only wanted things that gave me boners. So I guess I don't know how to say it, but yeah, it never occurred to me that'd be a great idea for me to have a little kid to worry about all day. So even as a kid, I knew kids were a pain in the ass. I knew I was a pain in the ass. So why the hell would I want one of me hanging around me, getting in my way?
Yeah,
I didn't, I barely tolerated having sisters. Why the fuck would I want a kid? Probably more of a liability than a sister, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so it goes back to that like overconfidence where they think that they have it all under control, and they think that the probability or the risk is sustainable. Like that their kid is going to inherit the same Earth that they inherited.
Yeah, well,
like they're going to have.
Oh well, it's working, so it's going to work forever. Well, the Twin Towers were standing, and then one day they weren't. So. Yeah, I mean, even little things like that. I mean, 9/11 should have been like a wake-up call to everybody. Just the idea of it. The idea that you just watched 200-story buildings fall to the ground. That should just say to you, "Oh shit!" All the presumptions I've made about what goes on planet Earth, because it never occurred to me that I would see that. Right? I mean, for the first 50 years of my, 45, whatever, I lived my life and I said, okay, that's not going to happen. And it happened, right? Right on TV. I watched it fucking goddamn happen. And even the tsunami in Japan. This is shit. You never thought you were going to see that, Oh, yeah, big tidal wave comes in, just wipes everything out, just turns all these houses into, kindling. I mean, fuck. When you see that shit, you just say, fuck this. Why would I subject my child to that? Why would I say, go ahead, get tsunami'd? No fucking way.
Yeah, I remember I was like too young to really understand what was going on when 9/11 happened, but I remember the teachers and stuff saying that they hate our freedoms and they are, I remember there being like all this American insane patriotism.
Yeah, I just as the event was happening though, none of that was going on. So I'm just saying you weren't thinking about the politics when you're just watching as a thing happening. It's a thing happening. It was just amazing, as a thing happening to me anyway. Just to think about 200-story buildings in New York City falling to the ground. I mean, that's like the Empire State Building falling over. It was just something you never thought you'd see.
Yeah, and I think like people think that like a first world power can't have severe economic disruption, but didn't that just occur like a couple decades ago in the Soviet Union? Like, wasn't there, pretty serious upheaval?
That's a whole different kind of. That was a whole different kind of revolution, though. Obviously, so it wasn't just about economics. It was a whole political revolution, and then they sold out to capitalism, and now they're in worse shape than they were before. So that's almost a negative story. But yeah, I'm just saying that we all know that the Roaring Twenties were the Roaring Twenties, and we know that the Dead 30s were no picnic. So the Great Depression is going to look like a minor depression compared to the one coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, every empire has fallen. Every like the Roman Empire and.
Yeah, but they didn't have nukes, so that obviously Rome wouldn't have fallen if it had nukes. So.
Yeah. But I mean, it was the economic. I mean, it wasn't just like they had the best weapons of the day.
It wasn't economic. It was they did the same thing we did. I mean, you let so many foreigners in your country that you don't have a country anymore. You don't have an identity. Rome was killed from within. They took over the world, and then the world took them over. I mean, Christianity destroyed Rome.
I won't argue that one.
So it's strange because I'll talk to a lot of baby boomers about antinatalism, and it's almost as if, like, I don't know what your encounter. I mean, obviously, like, you encounter people like Anaconavad and Piro, but I've found that there's a lot of people like that who have, they've lived to be 50 or something, and they have this arrogance as if they have it under control. I mean, it was so shocking to me when, like, Anaconavad says, "Okay, I'm going to have a child." After all this, he claims to be a philosopher and claims to understand suffering. I think you mentioned that in your last video, but I mean, it's almost as if, like, I don't know what that is. Like, if you've reached a certain amount of material success or something, now you feel confident that your child is going to have the same.
I don't think he thinks that far anymore. I don't think he's anything like a philosopher. I think he's exactly the opposite. I think he's an anti-philosopher. I think he's reverted back to being childlike because he says that's the best way to live. The best way to live is not to worry, not to concern yourself, just to take it as it comes and play it. And less thinking is good. So that's, he basically says facts are tools. That's the truth is a tool to be used. It's not something that obligates. It's something you manipulate for your purposes. So I mean, I don't see there's any way you can call him a philosopher. He's an immature, you could say a midlife crisiser. He's a guy who's a glutton. I mean, he made a video eating a piece of cheese. I mean, come on. What the fuck?
Hey, Amanda, I can't hear you. You're breaking up.
So I wasn't saying anything, but yeah, I don't know what to do about that. I'll hit the no breaking up button. There, no more breaking up. I hit the button.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just like, I guess when you're young, you just kind of assume that adults have things under control, and like, people twice my age, I would think would be more prudent or risk averse, or like it.
You have that tendency. It is kind of funny because I sort of that's where, like I said, all this religion and fairy stories comes into it, because that's when I started doubting my parents, was when they started lying to me about Santa Claus and this other shit. And then just little things would happen. I'd see a one-legged man, and I'd say, well, why does that guy only have one leg? And he'd say, oh, it's God's will. And I'd be like, what the fuck does that mean? What do you mean, is this a will that a guy walks around with one leg? That's a stupid thing for God to be willing. And you're just saying, these people don't. That's when I realized they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And that's when the world really got scarier, because I just lost all confidence in authority, because authorities just lie to you. They give you these stupid answers. I watched my father burning thousands of caterpillars off a tree, and it's like, what do you mean? You're burning them to death. This is wrong. No, I got to save the tree. Huh? No, sorry. If is this what you have to do to save trees? Then no, we can't have trees anymore. It just I was already saying that this is not good enough. This is way too messy, and so it already was way too messy, too sloppy. I mean, I was a really neat freak when I was a kid. I couldn't stand how sloppy life was.
Yeah, I remember, like, being a kid, and like, I mean, I guess I'm still a kid in a lot of ways, but I just remember, like, fairness was such a big part. When you're in a classroom in elementary school or something, everyone is just saying, this isn't fair, that's not fair, and then the teacher's like, well, shit isn't fair, so bad, it's too bad, kid, deal with it.
Yeah, I just couldn't accept that answer. And like I said, I had the same experience. You just keep pointing out things that are wrong, and people just keep glibly stepping right past it, saying it doesn't matter, or it's not our fault, or it's nothing you can do about it, or some other bullshit, and you're like, well, there's just why does everybody say this is good enough? This isn't good enough. If you can't do better than this, then why the fuck am I here? What am I doing here? This is. I don't want to go to this is right. You invited me to a cesspool. Well, fuck you.
Yeah, it's. I think. I guess it's just people have that strong motivation. Like as if there's some sort of fulfillment. Like when they finally get that big promotion and they finally get married, and they'll have it all together. Like they'll reach some sort of defining point.
I just don't think people have failed enough or something. I don't know what it is. I don't know how. Like I said, because obviously, like I said, I didn't have to do any philosophical work to draw this conclusion. So it's not like I had to be converted from an optimist into a pessimist. So I have a huge advantage in that sense. I don't even have to think about it to arrive at the conclusion that life is too messy to play with. But yeah, I mean, why it doesn't occur to them after they live a while and they're stuck in the monotony and the grind, and they realize that, oh yeah, if like I said, if I get $10, if I find $50 on the sidewalk, I'm going to wish it was $100. Because I could really use $100, and if I had $100, I could really use $200. And if I had $200, I really need $1,000. I really do. It never ends. So what's the point?
Yeah, and you just sort of adapt to whatever level of comfort you're at, and then the now what always pops into your head.
You just can't stay when you get to, and especially if you've had it really good. If you climb Mount Perfect, so to speak, you're on top of the woman and it's a candlelight and it's all perfect and everything's just right. You can't stay there. You're just like, here I am in the perfect place and I can't stay. I'm going to be dragged out of perfection. I'm going to be dragged back to real life and the grind and the bullshit, and that makes it even more, to me personally anyway, that's when you really realize that's how bad life really is that even when I get there, I'm not going to be able to stay there. Shit.
Yeah, people have to believe like a fantasy about life to keep going, to be happy about stuff. And I see it all around me.
One more fish. They just think there's one more big fish in the pond to catch. I still got to get Barney the big fish. Yeah, I'm going to catch that big fish someday. That's how they live. They think they're like, oh, I'm going to go to the store and get an extra. I'm going to, I'll buy a package and it's going to have an extra 2 ounces, and then it's going to have a coupon on the register receipt. I'm going to get my next box for $1.50. That's like half price. It's going to be a great day because I'm going to get my box of shit for half price. I mean, this is what fucking idiots live for. Clipping coupons out of the newspaper. Fuck.
Wait till those 3D printers are only $100.
Yeah, and you only take $500 worth of plastic to make yourself a pen. Yay, cool. I can make a pen. That's my name on it and stuff.
I remember you made a video a while ago and you kind of described like an image of someone sculpting the David, and then like they're just like chained to the wall and they have to watch a hammer or a chisel crush their creation. It's just broken in front of them. Like they try to find that paradise or that piece of perfection, and then it just dissolves in their hands. So I think that's a really good analogy for like what people strive after, and then how it just kind of falls apart.
Yeah, well, it's almost worst vice is winning, right? I mean, you really want to just be a constant almoster. Get almost winning, because if you keep almost winning, you still have hungry for it. You're still chasing. So you're still in the game, but you're not a loser. You're an almost winner. So that's probably the ideal state. Is if you actually win, then you're fucked.
Yeah, the lead singer of Nirvana, Kurt Cobain, said that. He was like, yeah, the best time of my life was right before I got signed and had no money still. Like right in that process, in that, I still suck, but I'm almost there. And then he got the money and he just kind of fell apart,
Yeah, Yeah, no, it's where do you go from there? There's nowhere but down. So yeah, you don't want to win because then you're gonna be somewhere short of winning the next day, and that's no good. And it's gonna get shorter and shorter, and you're gonna get further and further away from it. And well, whatever. It's all psychology anyway, but it's all a head game. We're just playing some stupid head game. But it's kind of funny that we just can't make it up. I was thinking about that the other day. It's like I'm fooling myself a lot. So I mean, I really can find a way to manage my psychology by fooling myself. But it's like I should theoretically be able to completely fool myself. You know what I mean? It's like almost you should be able to duplicate any circumstance in your imagination. You know what I mean? Like so. Like even if you wanted to have sex with a movie star or something, in a sense, you should be almost able to just synthesize it as a brain function, like just pretend so well that you're actually doing it, right? Because it's just neural activity, right? So all you're trying to do is synthesize that same neural pattern, and so you don't necessarily have to see it, you don't necessarily have to touch it to know what those things are like. And so in a way, it's just kind of funny that if you really got good at this Buddhist thing, you could just fantasize yourself into any state of being by just imagining yourself as, I just found $1 million on the sidewalk. Or I just, whatever problem you have, you solved. And it's just kind of funny that that's all it really is. It's just a stupid head game. It's just crap in our head. And we really almost shouldn't need physical objects in the world to create that head state. We should be able to create the head state, without anything physical. Theoretically.
Yeah, like if your imagination was strong enough, you could do it. I get what you're saying. Like if your imagination could just completely put you in a completely different head state where you're there already, like you're actually there, because it is just that.
Yeah, I've been able to mess with it with lucid dreaming. When you're in a half dream state, you're kind of more capable of doing that kind of stuff. And so I've played with it. But it's like something I'd really like to waste some time on just because it is kind of interesting just in terms of synthesizing optimism or synthesizing, some sort of good event and just pretending, like you were saying before, you just pretend your way through the problem. Sometimes you have to just do that as a practical mechanism, to get you from here to there.
Yeah, I was just about to say that with lucid dreaming. You can pretty much do whatever you want, and Oculus Rift is coming out like later this year, and many people are talking about it, how it could be like basically replacing a lot of human interaction, at least in some ways.
Well, video games already do that, and so yeah, I just think that any technology that aids it is fine, so I'm all for that. But to me, that's also a commentary on just how trivial our brains are. I mean, this is all just trivial. We really shouldn't need to do this real-life thing at all because it's just so trivial. The fact that we actually have to have a marble bathroom, or we have to have a marble there, or we have to do this, or we have to... The fact that we have these silly expectations, these silly dependencies and needs, and they're all just silly, and you find out they're silly once you do without them. I mean, I got rid of my TV, 8-9 years ago. I haven't missed it. I thought I would, but I don't. It was just all bullshit. And I just realized, holy shit, there was a huge big hunk of my life I just cut out, and it really was just a waste of my brain. My brain was decomposing because of that stupid box in here.
Hey Gary, I'm watching this video on YouTube where some scientists try to prove that plants feel pain or something
Well,
like that.
That's all wacky and nutty, and so hopefully they'll, a meteor will hit them or something before they waste any more money. I mean, it's just stupid. I mean, we know what a brain is, and we know that you need a brain to do these things. It's just stupid to be talking about.
The central nervous system.
What the fuck good would a fucking plant? What would it do with a feeling anyway? I feel like going for a walk. Oh shit! I don't have any legs. Damn it! I can't walk anywhere. Oh, I'm on fire! Run away! Oh, wait a minute! I can't run away. Wave your arm. Oh, I can't wave my arms. Oh, blow it out. Oh, I can't blow it out. I mean, what the fuck good would a feeling do a plant?
But
the game would be really
very bad.
Yeah, the game would be total fail if the plants felt pain, and then even worse. You know, you have all these plants and they're starving for sun energy and they need water and.
Oh, a deer's coming! A deer's coming! All right, well, it'll take me 3 days to turn my leaf down. So I think the deer can wait 3 days for me to move my leaf out of his mouth's range. I don't think so.
Yeah, but nature would be even dumber
Yeah, I remember.
than it is right now.
I remember having to argue that in philosophy classes. Like this girl tried to argue that freaking plants have brains, you know, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is what we do in academic. In a university, this is what people argue.
I almost don't know what to say.
Have brains.
I almost feel like they all should be shot in the head. I mean, anybody who's even thinking that there's any practical possibility that plants have a sentient experience, it's just such a ludicrous thing to think. I don't even know what to compare that to. I mean, how can you even possibly imagine that being possible? It doesn't have any capacity to react. What the fuck good would a brain do something that can't react? I mean, brains are reflexes. They're made of reflexes. The plant doesn't even have a knee jerk. Why would it have a brain if it doesn't even have a knee jerk?
So, by that argument, do you think that non-living things exist because we exist?
I don't know. Non-living. I don't think there's anything non-living that's conscious. I mean, consciousness is an accident, a fluke of nature, obviously. It's just this mechanism created by nature to create this motivational mechanism to get us to scheme our way into satisfying desires that it's set up for us. So it made us value something, but that's all it's here for. It doesn't. Consciousness doesn't have a mission statement besides being like a shark's tooth. Consciousness is just a tool that enables organisms to eat more efficiently and to find shelter and do all the things that living things need to do to survive and replicate. It's a tool. It's nothing more than just a tool. It has no redeeming value beyond that.
You might be wondering about like the strictly materialistic universe thing. Like, it's all material objects, you know, at base. So, yeah. I don't know.
The whole universe just runs on this attraction-repulsion kind of mechanism, right? I mean, that's the force law of the universe. Things just getting pushed into each other kind of a way. And in a sense, we're sort of a reflection of that. But, yeah, I mean, it is a mechanical universe. It's not doing something unmechanical. We're just byproducts of a stupid replicating molecule. Sorry to interrupt.
No, yeah. But, I mean, you've never hugged a tree and felt, you know, the love from the tree and had a nice...
Well, I didn't know what to talk about sexual preferences. I've hugged lots of things. Frankly, I probably have, you know, I humped a few trees a little bit, I think. I probably did that a little bit. I mean, you know, some days...
I
on some days, it's just anything will do, you know. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is, so, you know. Yeah, so, yeah. I never bought trees chocolates or anything. I didn't do that, but, yeah.
Well, I mean, I do like the great outdoors. I like being out in nature. I mean, more so than being in the city around people. It's just more relaxing to me.
Well, except for the flies and the bugs and the skeeters and the ticks and the, you know, rain and the dirt and the
quality of life in the rural area is much more better. It's better than the quality of life in the city.
It depends on what you're doing, though, right? Like I say, if I was a gamer, right? If I was a video gamer, the city would be the place to be, right? So, you know, so it just depends on what you're into. So if you're spending, you know, if you like running or doing something, well, yeah, then it's nice to be in nature. But, you know, if you're into, or even smoking or something, you know, it's nice to be outside when you smoke and trees and all that kind of shit. But, you know what I'm saying? If you're into gaming, what the fuck, nature's not going to do you any good.
Well, do you feel like you're able to think better? Like you do a lot of walk and talks. Do you feel like when you walk outside and get that fresh air and get that movement, as if like you're able to generate more thinking or something as opposed to just being sedentary?
Well, I think the movement helps get you, stimulates you just in the fact that your blood's flowing and that kind of stuff. So I think it's good. I think it's good to have a distraction sometimes when you're thinking. You know what I mean? You have a mechanical distraction. You keep your hands busy or your legs or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You're mechanically busy, so your brain is just doing this rolling inside of itself thing. So I find I internalize a lot better when I'm doing something mechanical. You know what I mean? It's like even when I used to work in a machine shop, I used to be daydreaming while I was running the machines. You know what I mean? Because it was all kind of robotic movements, and so you could do a lot of thinking while you were working. So, if that's what you mean, yeah. I personally like doing that, but I mean, some people, walking and talking are two separate things and they can't really put them together. Where for me, it's they complement each other. I mean, thinking and walking, that works for me.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I love walking around the block and going to a nearby park, and it's like I'm able to finally put my thoughts together where I can't do it as well when I'm inside. I guess it's just because I'm walking and thinking.
Well, it's the isolation too. I mean, when I tend to be in the house, I tend to look at the computer screen to see if something's happening. I tend to, I tend to check on the technology thing, and so it's good to be separate from that so I can't get distracted by it. And it's hard to do that when you're in the house. You just tend to, you know what I mean? It's like turning the TV on when you're like when I go to eat dinner, I usually put a video on or a movie or something to eat dinner. You know what I mean? I don't eat dinner dead quiet because I don't want to be thinking when I'm eating. You know what I mean? I want to do exactly the opposite. I want to be totally distracted when I'm eating. So it's just kind of a, but I'm just saying that's, to me, that's the only vice of the house, is that the house is weird when it's quiet, where it makes sense to be quiet out. Like, you know what I mean? Outside there's birds, there's all kinds of noises, but none of them are something you have to pay attention to, where the house is like there's phone, there's computer, there's stuff that's going to distract me.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, but I think some of that sense deprivation or something like forces imagination or forces, when you're completely deprived of, not completely, but when you're lacking external sense data, then your brain sort of fills in the gaps. Like it's forced to be more creative or forced to be more imaginative or something.
I know, but that's sort of a liability too, right? Because it's sort of like you kind of have to do it halfway. You can't do it all the way. Because if I have a real quiet environment, then I just get morbid. Then I get personal. My thoughts go personal. They go, oh fuck, I'm still on planet Earth. It sucks here. I hate it. And so I can't do any real thinking about anything abstract because I'm too distracted by the fact that what the fuck am I still doing here? Or something like that. So the personal thoughts get my way. In a sense, it's like when the power went out here for 3 weeks. I didn't have electricity. It got by the third week, man, I was going a little bit bonkers just because I was trapped with myself and my thoughts and shit. I was just not doing myself any good.
Yeah. Shit. What was it?
Yeah, well, it's okay. So, Dee, you look lovely. She's in regular clothes tonight. Wow. She's got, like, girl clothes on.
She just likes to smile and, like, do those kind of things. Smiley things. And call Vic a retard.
Yeah, I love when she's arguing. I think she argues great. So, yeah, it's really good. So I guess I have to say something argumentative.
Yeah, we're not fighting this time. Not yet, anyway.
Yeah, well, I can do it that fast. Fast.
DJ's sort of the same way. Like, she loves to argue. She loves to, like, like whatever's on her mind it's coming out. So, like, they better be prepared because she's a beast on the streets. She doesn't care. I mean, like, I really liked how she just kind of stuck it to Vic and shit, because he's.
No, she was a little bit of a pain in the ass. It's quiet. It's funny. She's quiet now, right? But when I was talking, right, I'm arguing with Vic, and all of a sudden she's butting in, man. She's taking on my game, you know. And I'm like, well, we both can't play this guy at the same time. I mean, that's not going to work, all right? Only one dick allowed at a time, and you're just, you know, it's like, okay, well, I wait my turn, sloppy seconds and whatnot. But yeah, it just wouldn't work. You just can't rape a guy.
Well,
Yeah.
it was just like, I don't know, like button just because, like, stupid shit,
Yeah,
so.
now you're all laggy and fucked up. I guess it's your computer.
Yeah, sorry, I got bad connection.
Yeah, but she carried on for a couple hours afterwards, and then we just got to the point where it was like, this is just going absolutely
Well, I
nowhere.
watched some of it, you know, it's just like, yeah, who can tolerate his idiotic thought experiments? Well, what if there's a retarded woman and she likes getting raped on Thursdays, and, well, you rape her on a Wednesday instead of a Thursday, but it's still not that bad because she's retarded. She doesn't even know what rape is. And what's so bad about that? Because the guy was really horny, and so he's happy and she's happy, so what's wrong? Well, who cares, jackass? What does that have to do with antinatalism, you retard? I mean, I don't care. You want to go rape retards? Go ahead, you shithead. I don't give a fuck. But it's goddamn stupid, all right? It's a little bit impolite at worst, but yeah, okay, go rape some retards if you really have to, but it sounds fucked up to me. I wouldn't do it. It still sounds like an imposition, like I'm going to take from you. Well, yeah, you can steal candy from a baby, and most of the babies won't even know you did it. That's the truth. Most of them, you can fool the fuck out of them, right? You snap your fingers over here, and while they're not looking, you steal their cookie. They'll never even know what happened. So, yeah, go ahead. Steal candy from a baby, jackass.
Yeah, and it's just like he's setting you up because he just wants to like get you in some kind of stupid loop where now you don't value autonomy, but in other cases you do value autonomy, and he's just setting you up around these stupid.
Well, he doesn't know the difference. They'll never argue the difference between the social contract and absolute values, right? So, I mean, absolutes are always different than social contract shit. So you have to establish from the beginning, okay, we're going to negate the social contract for the sake of this idiotic conversation. So, yes, it's okay. You can rape my dead corpse. If you really want to, go ahead, fuckhead. Yes, no harm, no foul. No big deal.
Hey, I got a question. I was just thinking of this phrase I've heard of for a long time. It's what they don't know won't hurt them. Like, I guess a good example would be if you're married and you cheat on your partner, but you never tell them and they never find out. Is that okay?
Well, I don't think it's okay in a contract sense. You know, you either make a fair contract with somebody or you don't. But obviously there's liabilities to sleeping around. Like you could bring herpes home or something, right? So if you give your wife herpes, that would be pretty sucky because you cheated on her. So, I mean, you have to really narrow this down to some sort of real thing. But I'm just saying, if you make a contract with somebody, make a promise to somebody, you're either an honorable guy and you keep your deal or you don't keep your deal. But you shouldn't be allowed to lie to people and say, I love you, but I don't really love you. I love you on Tuesday, but, you know, when I'm with the Thursday chick, I don't love you. I mean, fuck that, right? If you can't be honest about what you need or what you want, then fuck it.
Well, in a strictly moral sense, it's wrong, but if they never find out, you're not causing them any suffering. So,
I'm just saying you either respect contracts or you're not. So we're back to the social contract. I'm just saying there's no real way to have a human deal in interactions with people if they're going to be dishonest. So I'm just saying I don't want a contract with somebody who says, well, I love you, but if somebody pays me $75, I'll sleep with them. You know, I mean, well, no, well, then go sleep with somebody else because I want to be worth more than $75.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, then you are just living with that dissonance and the fact that you're being dishonest. So like you're corrupting your relationship, you know.
Well, I'm just saying to say it's not a harm to somebody for you to lie to them. I'm just saying the harm is in the fact that they're invested in you, and they wouldn't be if they knew what your true heart was. So if they knew who you really were, what kind of true monster you were, like you were, you know, Godzilla, and she thought you were Gamera, you know, and she likes Gamera, but she didn't like Godzilla. So, you know, you're fooling her, and so that's a lie, right? So there's a harm to that because she's sleeping with Godzilla when she really wants to be sleeping with Gamera.
Yeah, good point.
Right.
I mean, I guess it could be good in some cases, like not telling somebody something that would hurt them, uh, and it's something like that you just don't want them to know.
But would you want to do that? Would you want somebody not to tell you something, not to hurt you? I don't want dishonesty. So I mean, I really just don't want it. I don't want somebody to be dishonest with me, even if they think it's in my best interest. I don't want it. I mean,
Yeah.
no, I find it irritating psychologically to be manipulated or fooled or deceived. I don't. That's obnoxious. So it would be very bad if I found out I was being deceived.
Yeah, it's almost like reality is so important, like having if your reality is not what you think it is, I mean, it's just such a brain fuck to be
Yeah,
cheated
yeah,
on for a long period of
yeah. I'd rather have my feelings not spared and have the truth than have my feelings spared and live a lie. So yeah, I mean, it's that simple. I mean, I'd rather the pain of the truth than the lie of a lie. Yeah, yeah.
Hey Gary, this is off topic. You once said that a newborn baby does not experience pain or something
Yeah, and
like
I
that.
still believe that. I mean, they don't have a cognitive brain. They just don't, they don't even know what gravity is yet. Babies just aren't. They're not ready. They're not ready for prime time. You know what I mean? They're still really fetuses. They just get ejected when they're physically able to breathe, because it's not convenient to keep them in the womb, because the mother could die or something can happen. So it's better to get them the hell out of there, and so now they can grow physically. But I mean, obviously, human babies are the most disabled thing born, right? There's nothing as feeble as a human baby,
But
and
they
so
still scream.
unlike
When they burn,
unlike
they scream. I don't
I
know.
know, I know. Those are just reflexes. I mean, if I cut a bug's head off, its arms and legs still twitch. The
Uh-huh.
bug will even still walk sometimes, because the program to walk is in the nodes of their shoulders. So their legs have their own brain built in. I'm just
Yeah,
saying
it's like a program running.
the baby's reactions are indications to the mother that she must do something. So they're just physiological reactions. The baby performs the act, the mother reacts to it to shut the kid up, so she feeds it or does whatever. You know what I'm saying? They're not really
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
responsive
Interesting. Yeah.
to the baby are doing for its sake. So I'm just saying the baby's not oriented to do anything. It's almost like the plant argument, right? What good would feelings do a plant? Well, you could argue the same thing. What good would feelings do a baby? It can't act. You know what I mean? It can't do anything. So they're really not. There'd be no purpose in them having feelings, because they're not really ready to learn anything either, right? What are they learning? They're learning how to be a baby. They don't need to learn how to be a baby. They need to learn how to be the full-grown animal. So, like a chimpanzee is ready to go in 6 weeks. You know what I mean? It's swinging from a tree. So that's a huge difference. It's just this, our slow maturation means the brain just is staying. That's why we learn language. My argument is the reason why we do language is because of our slow maturation. Our brain is basically creating a perfect operating system so everything can be efficient and
We
maximized.
basically need that knowledge in our head
Right, so we can take time to install the language. And so babies are just installing language, in the first year of their
Yes,
existence.
yes.
What do you think about this whole language as an innate structure, like the Chomsky stuff? Like, do you think language is innate to humans? Like, it's something that we have. They're claiming that it's something prior to birth. That
I think it's idiotic. I think Helen Keller points out pretty clearly that it doesn't exist until you learn it. So, I mean, she was an animal until she learned what language was. I mean, she was she was a well-trained dog, and that's all she was, until she had language.
I guess it's just the fact that language comes easy to us, or seemingly easy.
Obviously, it's conducive. We've had 50,000 years to evolve into it, so it's obviously what has been rewarded over those 50,000 years. But to say it comes easy, I'm just saying that's part of the reason why we maturate so slowly is because of this idea that we need to learn language. So I guess that's sort of my argument. Why we beat out Neanderthal is because of that. So, that's, they were twice the size at half the age of, the humanoid babies. So, they were still maturating quickly like gorillas, and we were doing this slow thing to do this more articulate, symbolic representation and modeling of the world. So, but language is just a model of reality. I mean, it's just a bunch of words to describe things, and then we manipulate the words as if they were things. So like musical chairs, we put the chairs in our head as chairs, then we manipulate the chairs just like they were chairs in the real world. And, it's just symbols that we manipulate as representations of reality. So language isn't necessarily anything special. It's just a way of representing the world that's more coherent than what you could acquire without language.
Right, yeah, like the words are almost just signs or concepts in themselves, or they point to other things or a cluster of other words, and then we use.
The word concept is a good one. I mean, it's categories and properties, but yeah, I mean, it's just a more efficient way. And if you have to do it on your own, you don't recognize these symbolic relationships. You don't understand the math, so to speak. So you got numbers, but you don't have any plus and equal signs. You know what I mean? You can't add anything. Where language, I think, makes it a lot easier to see subtle interrelationships between things, categories. You understand the relationship between, I don't know, a nose and ears, or things that are, more things that would be abstract if just encountered in the real world. They would seem like individual things. Once you have words and categories, you understand those as packages of things. It's hard to explain, but I just think that language has efficiencies in terms of the connections you can make that you couldn't really do with the actual Legos, with the actual things. You can't manipulate them in a way to encounter them in the same way you can encounter them as symbols.
Jiddu Krishnamurti used to say that the word is not the thing. I don't know if you heard of that guy.
Yeah, I know, but a picture is worth 1,000 words. People say lots of things, but a word is worth 1,000 pictures also. So, yeah, I'm not a big cliche fan, to tell you the truth. So, whatever.
Language is fairly new in a human game, from what I know. It's like, I think around 50 or 60,000 years old, if that. And
yeah, I'd say the really good languages are only 20,000 or 10,000 years old. So yeah, I mean, it's been improving over time. I mean, I don't think 50,000 years ago they had more than 1,000 words, maybe, or maybe less. So I think there was a lot of, ugh and symbols, that represented things. You know what I mean? It was a very, they probably had a word for fire and water and this and that. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? They didn't have a. There's tribes right now in Africa, that still exist, and they can't count higher than 3. They don't have a word for 4, 5, 6, 7. They just stop at 3.
Yeah, apparently that was like one of our big leaps forward as a species, was developing this vocal box and this ability to use language as like a thing that sort of accelerated our ability to work with abstractions and be the species that controlled the world in the end.
I think the language thing. No, I think it's 2 parts of 2 different things that were happening. I think the idea that we need to communicate with each other was more like prairie dogs or something. You know what I mean? It's like we were stand-up organisms. We went out on the flat land where we were vulnerable to getting chased down by lions, tigers, and bears and such. And so we had to communicate with each other over distances. So I think that was why we had vocal skills, was that we needed to signal each other. And we had to plan, our encounters. So we had to have strategies. And so we had to be able to communicate with each other to do that in some other way than visual, because you you weren't able to necessarily see the other guy. You had to hear him. So I think that's why we're. But I don't think the vocal necessarily tied to language in how it developed. I think we were vocal before we were language capable.
Yeah, it's like the thing that separated us as weak apes, physically weak in comparison to the other animals, but we were able to use this tool.
Well, I think that's just because of the thing coming out of the trees. Like I said, it's like lemurs are kind of tall and lanky, and so they're kind of a good representation of the kind of animal that our ancestor was probably like. He spent some time in the trees, but if he had to, he could run across the ground. But I just think it's that idea of, like I said, I'll just keep going back to the prairie dog kind of thing, where they have to stand up and see survey the environment. And I just think that's why we're standing upright. And once we started standing upright, we couldn't be heavy anymore because our back couldn't sustain the weight. So I think that there's a lot of these rules about why our body changed. But I mean, standing up changed a lot about how we lived. I mean, it's a huge difference, standing upright.
So,
well, it's a good beginning, but the song, so
I've got this big watermelon here.
Very exciting. What are you gonna do with it? Something sexual?
Yeah, I'm working on drilling a hole in it. Just.
I use cabbages. They can hold up a lot longer. But whatever.
I've invited the self-immodulator guy if he wants to come here and clarify something in those videos.
Well, it's nothing to clarify. He basically said it right to my face. He said, look, I don't think there's any reality about anything being harmful or bad. So, yeah, if somebody wanted to torture a zillion Jews, it's okay with me because I can't tell the difference. There's no absolute bad. It's just I might emotionally find it uncomfortable, but that doesn't mean anything because that's just my silly emotions. It's not a real thing.
It's just more simple to tell you in your face instead of staying making all those videos.
He didn't want to say it in my face in the video. He could have just said it in my face in the video. I just don't get. I just don't get it. Okay, I don't want to get it. I don't want to know nothing about it. It's just stupid. If you don't believe you're advocating for something that's real and the truth, then shut the fuck up. I mean, why the hell do I want to hear something that doesn't have something to do with the truth?
It's like a solipsist or something.
I mean, my take on that is what I consider bad is it's different from what my fundamentalist Christian family considers bad. I mean, I guess fundamentally.
I'm just saying, do you think there's a truth or not?
I think there is, but my truth is not what my parents' truth is.
Who cares? I'm saying is one of them's right and one of them's wrong, or they're both wrong, right? Those are your three choices. But there's not a fourth choice where there is no right, is there? Is that the fourth choice? There's no right? Well, I don't think that's a choice, so he's picking the fourth choice. I'm saying if he thinks that suffering sucks as a fact, well, then I agree with him. But if he thinks it only sucks because he emotionally says it sucks, or he has like he's as sure that suffering sucks as he is sure that the Mets should win the World Series, well, fuck him then. That's not sure enough.
No, he does believe it sucks, but he just is into thought experiments, and that's what trips people up.
Well, I don't know what that means. I'm just saying it's either sucks in reality or it doesn't suck in reality. So I just don't see any point in talking about how it makes you feel. If it makes you feel sucky, well, I don't really care.
It's not that he doesn't get that it sucks. He's saying that we're not. Can you mute that? hold on, sorry. It's not that he's saying that that he doesn't get it. He's just saying that that he doesn't think that we're obligated to do anything about it.
Well, he doesn't say that though. Look, go watch this last video. He says it in text. He just plays my clips, and he basically just says, "I don't give a fuck about anything because I don't think anything's real." Okay, you don't think it's real? Then shut the fuck up. He says, even when I say shut the fuck up, he says, I don't care to shut the fuck up because I don't think there's right and wrong. So if I lie to people, it doesn't matter because I don't think it's wrong to lie.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Well, I'm just saying, you go watch this video and you'll say that's too fucked up because his responses are total. He says he's an absolute moral nihilist, not a.
Wait, who says that? What video?
Catch yourself
modulator.
Yeah.
Well, why would he even make the argument? I mean, like, if you're a nihilist and you think nothing matters, you know, what are you even doing? Like, what's the point? Like, what's even motivating you if you're a solipsist? You know,
because he says it's empathy. Empathy is motivating him, and I just point out that empathy is just bigotry. So what's the point? I mean, if all you have is emotion to back up your argument, I just emotionally feel like life is wrong. Well, that's not a good enough reason to tell somebody not to do it. You have to have a fact. I mean, to argue from your emotions is silly. That's the silliest thing. Watermelon's the best fruit in the universe. Well, yeah, obviously that would be just rubbish.
Once a guy says he's a solipsist, there's no more reason to talk to him.
Well, I'm just saying,
no point.
Solipsist, he's a nihilist, which is worse. I mean, solipsists at least have an ego problem, right? You could argue that solipsists have an ego problem. Like, they just think their brain is so much cooler than everybody else's. But fucking nihilists don't think any brain is doing anything that's significant. And it doesn't matter whether you torture them forever. It's just the same as not torturing them forever. He said it. I gave him the choice. You can torture a trillion Jews or not torture a trillion Jews. And he said, no, objectively, no difference.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
And it is something entirely objective because you're just giving him a hypothetical outside of his subjective, you know, interest. You know, you could just give like a completely non-biased whatever thought experiment, but then they always break the thought experiment and try to interject your or their subjective experience. You know, yeah, like they can't just look at it objectively.
Right, they always try to subjectify every observation we make. So every observation is broken because it goes through our subjective brain. Well, of course I have a subjective brain, but my subjective brain is able to understand the difference between a square and a round without getting emotional about it. I don't sit there and say, you know, oh yeah, circles are so hot and squares are so goddamn ugly. You know, I don't waste my time doing that shit.
Yeah, it's like you can't imagine a round square. You know, like they want to say that, oh, it can be both. It can be a circle and it can be a square. Well, how do you even put that into your brain as an abstraction? Like you can't have a round square.
My physics, I'm sure, to sort of get into that though. So if you put enough facets on the square, right? I mean, if you have enough little facets, you know, octagon, trillion. You know, if I make a trillion gon, right? That's a circle. Fuck you, right? Yeah, I mean, it might be made out of little tiny flat surfaces, but if there's a trillion of them, it's a fucking circle.
Right, but it's no longer a square. So there was like a progression of whatever, triangle, square, octagon. You know.
Well, I just mean that there's a kind of place where it's you know, halfway one, halfway the other. So I guess I'm just saying there is sort of a morphing of the idea of it, and so I just see them as all closed objects anyway. So that's what's more interesting about them, is open objects versus closed objects. But anyway, that's a whole nother. That's my personal thing. Yeah, yeah, I'm into the closed thing.
Well, yeah, and now they're going to use that against. So, if you don't mind me asking, like, I'm not exactly sure what happened with the whole Wikipedia thing. I know it was about the physics, right? You were posting physics, and then they they bombed you or something? Like they tried to take down your
Well,
work?
no, you can just watch the first video where I mentioned Wikipedia. But anyway, yeah, no, it's kind of simple. I just posted. There was a category on Lesage gravity, which is a very obscure Wikipedia page, obviously, right? It's about a 300-year-old theory of gravity. And there was a category on that page called non-mainstream links, right? So they had a category called links, and they had regular links, and they had non-mainstream, which, you know, were basically people who were on the fringe, right? You basically call that a fringe category. So I figured my draft science proposal belonged in the fringe category. I said, yeah, okay, it's a fringe belief. It hasn't been peer reviewed yet. None of the other things, the other 10 links in the category hadn't been peer reviewed. They were all just wacky people expressing a theory of kinetic gravity. So I threw it in that category saying, yeah, that's the right place for it. And the guy took it out, and I said, well, what the hell? Why'd you take it out? And he said, it's a personal website. And I said, it's not a personal website. It's a goddamn page on physics. There's nothing personal on it. It's just me talking physics. And then Wayward Guy, disguised as his whatever name, his Insidia name, started ragging on me and supporting the guy who cut my link off. And so then they accused me, like some other guy who empathized with my side, obviously, started hacking the Wikipedia page. So he would start put my link back on, and then they would remove it. Then he put the link back on, and then they would remove it. Then he wiped out the whole page and just put my link on, right? And so they were accusing me of being the sock, and I'm like, I don't know nothing about this. So the guy basically just said, these edits you did. So he blamed me as if I had made the edits, and I said, no. If you're gonna, so my exact statement was, are you making an accusation? If you are, I'll sue you for libel. That was my exact statement. And then I said, after that I said, I have made no other edits under any screen account, under any other account. So I made it clear I didn't do this edit, and I also made it clear that I have rights. And so it's their policy that you're not allowed to say you're going to sue you. You can't say, I'm going to sue you on Wikipedia. It's a violation of the terms of service. As ludicrous as that sounds, right? You can't defend your constitutional rights. So I had no idea. Well, anyway, so they blocked my account. So now I can't even appeal anything. So they just wiped me out as being able to defend anything or argue anything or do anything. And that's all I did. I didn't do anything else. So yeah, I'm going to sue them.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty ridiculous that they have that built into their policy. Like, they already have a monopoly pretty much. You know, who else? I mean, Wikipedia is probably the #1 thing people go to.
Oh, I should have pointed out to defend kicking my link out. They wiped out 5 of the other links in the miscellaneous category. Then they wiped out all the links in the miscellaneous category. Then they wiped out all the links in the external link category. So they wiped out 15 links to justify removing my 1, because there was no difference between my 1 and the 15 others. So they knew they couldn't keep the other 15 and justify what they did, so they wiped them all out. So that's a key point here too, is that they killed 15 good links just to justify their petty behavior against me.
Huh. That's interesting. I didn't know that they wiped out.
Yeah,
after the fact, like
15 links. Yep, just wiped out the whole category. Wiped out all the external links.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they're supposed to, stay. I don't know how they can be credible when they won't even present a counter theory or whatever, to modern physics. You know what I mean? And just the fact that you put it already in the fringe category. I mean, it's not even as if you presented it as look, I'm some kind of, PhD or something.
Well, I mean, obviously I didn't do anything wrong, and I'm just saying they obviously decided to just beat up on me, and they did that for their own petty reasons. But I'm just saying that obviously they wouldn't have deleted the 15 other links if they didn't know they were full of shit.
Yeah. Do you think a court would take it seriously, or like do
Well, the
anything to try to?
judges are, they're all, most of them are lunatics, so, who knows what you're going to get. I don't have much optimism, but you don't know till you try.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
the idea that they have a policy that says you can't defend your constitutional rights is kind of idiotic. I mean, the very idea of saying in an American company that you can't say you're violating my rights, I'm going to sue you. I mean, that's just fundamentally an American thing to be able to say as there is. There's not much else that's more American than to say, I'm going to sue you. I mean, it's just as bad as, that's your first, that's right there. I mean, that's the whole point of a constitution, is to say you have rights. The fact that you would say, I have rights and I'm going to defend them, how the fuck can they block you for that?
yeah. But like you said, I mean, like the system is so screwed up. You could get any kind of judge. I watched some of your old videos from a long time ago, and you were like in court against this judge over this. I think it was like the cigarette tax bullshit, and they had like some ridiculous case. And I remember, it was funny, you were like on Fox News or something, and it was Judge Hittner.
You're confusing two different cases, but yeah, that wasn't the cigarette case. That was the Jones R. slander case. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's just, it was one of my many cases. But obviously, I won that one in the sense that after they put me on the watch list and after they did that Fox News story, I won the appeal. So I won the federal appeal. And Hittner got thrown off the case. So
well, that's good.
I take that as a victory. I mean, the new judge was just as bad, so it didn't matter. But, the fact is I did get him kicked off. So I was vindicated, even though Fox News didn't follow up, as I told them they wouldn't. I sort of pointed that out to the reporter. I said, you're just going to do this raggy story, and then when I win, you're not going to say a damn thing. And that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, and that's sort of like a slander within itself, like they present the story and then you win the case, but they still, they don't do any follow up, and it's like, if it was some serious crime or something, there's so many people who they're charged for something serious, and then their name and reputation is tainted because of it, and then there's no public follow up story.
Yeah, like if you're going to sit there and point out how this guy is saying this judge is violating his constitutional rights and he's acting crazy, well, then why don't you point out that he won the federal appeal and the judge got kicked off the case? So I think that is sort of an important fact that you ought to inform the people you informed of my craziness. Well, you should have informed them that I was crazy right, not crazy wrong.
Yeah, but they're just looking for stories that are immediately shocking and are going to generate interest or something. Oh, look, there you are.
This picture. Yeah, I found a good sad picture of her. Right, she was in there she had kind of a sad look, and I said, oh, a sad face. I like that.
She said she was trying to like find a good picture off YouTube, but like she didn't know what to use or something for her painting, and she's really, like a perfectionist, so she doesn't want to do anything that's like crappy. She wants to do something that actually is. She's an artist in that way. Like she doesn't just.
Well, whatever. She just do. I'll just do drawings until she does something. But anyway, yeah, I did swimming video. Yeah. Well, I'll take a picture. I can do pictures. I'll do a picture of me doing something.
You do a photo shoot. Do a calendar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Here's a picture of my shiny butt in it. Yeah, we think we can get my butt in the picture somewhere.
Yeah, the Inmendham swimsuit edition.
Well, yeah, I want. It's no point in painting it. It's not gonna be something, because it's got something to look at. Besides my face, fuck that. It's gotten old. Yeah.
I saw that sculpture Amanda did, and I was really amazed by that. I don't know what your reaction to that was, but I saw. I guess that was years ago, but she made a pretty cool sculpture of like you in your house. I'm sure you've seen it, but like Oh man, it's just awesome. Like all the detail and
Yeah,
everything
well,
in it.
I called her at the time. I did call her a psychotic. I said, "What kind of psychotic lunatic do you have to be sitting there, fucking sculpting fucking cat food cans?" But yeah, I mean, it was an amazing thing. You know, when it first came out, you're just like, "Holy shit, she's been doing this shit for a year." You know, amazing.
Did she send you that sculpture, or does she just have it like somewhere in like a
Yeah,
vault or something?
yeah, she has it, but yeah, and she offered it to me, but yeah, I didn't want her to. It's just going to get broken, getting sent, and everything else. And what the hell am I going to do with it? You know, I'll just turn it into garbage. So better
Yeah.
save for the Inmendham Museum. Yeah.
Hey
My-
Jerry, do you like that Norwegian rap guy? That rap song, Antinatalist. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I like him. I'm not, you know, I'm not a big, you know, I'm not a big rappy, pop music-y person, so you know, I don't really go for that shit. But he has a look, and he, you know, I love his tattoos. He's really quite, you know, he's
Yeah, but
attractive.
the lyrics of the song are really good.
Does all his hand jive pretty good. He does all that shit well, you know. But it's just not my thing. I don't know what, you know. That's all I'm saying. It's just not, you know, just doesn't.
Anyway, the lyrics are really good. The lyrics.
Music doesn't mean anything to me. Okay, you really, I don't care about lyrics. I don't care about any of that shit. You know. I mean, I used to like songs that were really simple, like "I Want to Kiss You All Over." I mean, some kind of stupid ass song that was just like, you know, fuck it. I just want some. Even incomprehensible words are even better. If I don't even understand the language they're singing in, even better.
Okay.
So I really just don't do the theme music thing. Just, you know, I just want some chick to sing to me in some kind of "I want you" way, and yeah, I'm happy. Well, it's right. You know, it's funny because I had 2 records. All right, when I was like 17, I had Linda Ronstadt and Olivia Newton-John record. Those are the only 2 records I ever had. That's it. I just played Olivia Newton-John and Linda Ronstadt records. That's it.
And you used to repeat them or what?
Yeah, that's all I play. It's fuck it. You know, and then I got an ABBA tape and I played ABBA forever. So yeah, that was it. Fuck it. That's good for me. I mean, you listen to other shit in the radio now and then, but like if I was in the basement doing my meditating, it's the same as masturbating, but it's a little different. But when I was doing that, yeah, I would do that. You know, just chick singing. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I'm sort of the same way. It doesn't necessarily have to be like, you know, folky or like trying to push some sort of, you know, rhetoric or something. You know, it's just, it can be in its own category as just like some sense entertainment or something, and then that's that. You know, like a painting or something. You know.
Yeah, I just like chicks singing. You know, it just does something for me. So, but you know, you know, there's nothing else. I'm not saying there's no other songs that aren't moving or really brilliant. You know.
Well, what about a chick singing it like an antinatalist song?
Yeah, I just don't think it'll happen for me. It's like I like that British chick that was singing that "Fuck You" song. I like that, right? "Fuck You," that was a good song. "Fuck You Very Much." Yeah, you gotta listen to that.
If Freddie Mercury would sing an antinatalist song, you would like that.
Yeah, well, like I said, I liked Queen. I mean, I liked a couple of their songs, but like I said, it wasn't the kind of thing I just, it just rare little bits here and there. You know, there were songs where I could tolerate men singing, but most of the time I wanted a chick singing.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that Lily Allen song. I think that was directed at George Bush, the "Fuck You" song.
Yeah, well, that's a theme song that I didn't mind. Yeah.
So yeah, they're going. I mean, like, I guess like they're trying to go. Amanda and the rap guy are trying to go in that direction, like trying to make it, yeah, like entertaining or something. But I don't know if I don't know what you think about that. Like, she did the movie and then she got some.
Yeah, well, she's got some shit going on. She can't talk about it yet, but you know, I mean, she's
her video.
Yeah, you just lagged a little. But she's got some stuff happening, so I can't talk about it. But you know, she has some stuff happening. But yeah, I don't know. You know, the music thing is, you know how music is, right? It's not the same business it used to be. So there's a ton of music out there, so it's really, you really you gotta know somebody, you gotta get lucky to get any kind of record deal or anything, So it's a whole different world, music-wise.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it's a really long shot, kind of. You know what I mean? You really gotta get lucky.
Yeah, you got to be really good and really lucky and all that. So.
Yeah, it's just everything's just getting so samey.
Oh, there was.
I mean, remember that abortion song you linked to? I think you linked to it. Somebody had linked it. Maybe D did or somebody. That guy's talking abortion, whatever that music was. See, I mean, that was a good song, but didn't that sound exactly like 500 other songs you've heard? I mean, the music, was it like, I've heard that music before, you know what I mean? He's just changing the words to some other song, because I've heard that music before.
Yeah, because it's a singer of Rammstein. It was a different, he's from a different band.
Yeah, I just mean that I've heard that music before, so it's just like, it's not, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, we worked, it was a good, it was a good music video, but I just mean that there was like, that was just so formula, his
I
music.
heard that that guy who wrote that song has a daughter. That's an irony. He has a daughter.
Yeah, well, I don't think it matters. I mean, the fact that, a lot of people have kids really didn't want to have kids, I mean, that, it does happen, especially the guys, right? I mean, guys, oh shit, I didn't want to do that.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
That's what Marko was saying earlier, that like he regrets having children, but now he's stuck in this position where, he has to, and he is a natalist, and he doesn't know what to do because he doesn't want to necessarily like poison his children with pessimism, but he said he already can see their pessimism, and they're already asking him like what's going on. So
there's a kind of this whole women men thing that accidents can happen, and accidents. I mean, I didn't realize they could happen as easy as they can happen, but I mean, I've had twice where I've been with a woman, where the condom's broken and she said keep going, and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you, fucking insane? No, I'm not. Keep going. Fuck that. We're fixing this. And I'm like, damn, this is the trap. I mean, these are women who don't want to have kids, but are like, in the mood, I guess, for a few seconds, and they want to take advantage of it or something, because it never happens usually. I don't know what the fuck it is, but anyway, I'm just saying, it was like, I can't believe I'm the one that has to argue that we have to fix this. I mean, I'm the one that's supposed to say, who cares? You bitch are the one that's supposed to be worried. It was just so, but I'm just saying, so I can see how accidents happen. It's because, sometimes people are just plain silly.
Yeah, they're wrapped up in the moment or something, and then they just keep going, and then all of a sudden now they're pregnant.
Yeah, and they think they're going to get an abortion, but then they say, oh, I don't really want to have an abortion. I didn't really think about abortion. I don't want to do that. He's a little Gary. I can't kill a little Gary. Yes, you can. Yes, you will. Or you're going to accidentally fall down an elevator shaft.
Yeah. Yeah, so are you going to sleep? I think DJ might be trying to. Oh, she laid down for a second, and then now she's saying she's not going to sleep. But
yeah, I know. She's
pretty.
Yeah.
She's pretty much tired. The last couple of days, she got on here late at night and was, exerting a lot of energy.
Yeah, well, when she's 16 or 17, she'll be able to last longer. Yeah. It's gross out. You're kind of like a pedophile, kind of. She just looks insanely young.
Yeah, I always tell her that, and she doesn't believe me.
Yeah,
and I can relate. Oh.
I feel guilty about it already, but then she does have boobs and shit, so that fixes it. So as long as her boobs are hanging out, it's okay.
Well, I can imagine, like you'll be, when I'm like 40, I'm still going to be attracted to young women. That's the thing. It's just like you can't help that. Like I remember Holiday made some like braggy video or something. It's just like, yeah, what are you gonna do? Like you're attracted to young, healthy people, right? I mean, like
I
there's
don't
nothing
think
you can
it's
do.
inevitable. There's some people who kind of just quiet down sexually, you know what I mean? So they kind of just get lazy about it and say, well, you know, I don't care. I'll just pretend, you know what I mean? So a lot of people just acclimate to it. But yeah, I mean, there is a physical, you know, it is, you know, I have to concede that I haven't found a taste for mature women. You know, it just doesn't occur to me to say, oh yeah, that 55-year-old woman is so hot. No, she's not very hot. You know. So I have to concede it does get a little bit bleak. You know, when you're starting to fish in your own age group. Eesh.
Yeah. So I don't know how late I want to stay up, but
Yeah, I should bail anyway because I have to go to work in the morning. So
yeah. So, but thanks for coming, and I guess I'll just pretty much cut it off there at the sexual perversion part. So,
yeah, well, this way it's getting interesting, right? If you're going to bother doing the social thing, it might as well just be all sex talk and then just, you know, sex and philosophy. Just keep it simple.
yeah, we should probably interject that kind of thing. Just have, you know, random, you know.
Yeah, have a bell go off. Yeah, okay. Sex talk. Okay. Ding. Oh, philosophy. Okay. Well, you know, this is a serious conversation. Blah, 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 you know. Yeah. See if we confuse my penis, and my penis will start talking philosophy. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I still want
It's
to.
funny. There's less trolls. You know, I think no one has come here to troll and put their penis online. So, you know, I don't know if.
I guess I'm
Yeah, you know, maybe they just haven't found you yet. That's all. They just haven't found you yet.
Yeah. So, do you want to cut it there? Do you have anything to say, or?
Yeah, she doesn't have much to say. She just want to do a room, but she doesn't have much to say.
Well, I'm just tired. I was like yelling a lot the past couple of days.
Okay.
Yeah, I told her earlier. Like, I don't know, you know what, you know, but I think we kind of got to a few interesting things. So, you know, it wasn't the same kind of crap as always. So, I think it went okay in my opinion.
Yeah. Well.
But yeah, I guess I'm just gonna pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Talking.
Hey, I don't care. Go ahead. Go ahead. See if I care. I don't care. Go ahead. Cut it. I don't care.
Bye.
All right, so bye to Saddsacc and the people watching in YouTube, back alleyway or whatever.
Till next time and such.
And such.
And so forth and whatnot.